All right. Well, I don't know if I have audio. John, can you give me if I got an audio here or not? Because we're having some audio. I don't know if I have audio. Got a loop here.
Okay. I think you're good. I hear you in my ears, and I just listened to the stream, and I think you're good. Yep, okay. You are. Thank you, Cashew.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that music didn't fly. Doesn't matter why. The truth of it is, the music didn't work. Worked it all day. You know how it goes. You work on things all day, and you know what? Things are going to go sideways. I don't know. The audio just not working tonight. But you know what? You got my voice, so we're in. I missed the music.
That's all that's important.
Well, not really. Oh, by the way, I heard the music for a second. It's so weird. Yeah, so there it is, people.
There it is.
I didn't touch anything, so there's no rhyme or reason. We're going to give it 5 seconds, and I'll be back with you. Oh, that's insanity. You gotta love tech, because the truth of it is, I'm gonna be honest, this shit makes no sense, but you gotta have fun with it, man. So I'm sorry I left you guys out at the outset holding the bag with no music and just looking at that llama. Looks more like a donkey on that front of that overlay than a llama, but that's okay. Yeah, I did put another timer on for the music. I'm gonna get with your chat here. You know what? Let's have some fun. Who cares? It all goes sideways in life. That's life for you, right? Life's gonna go here. You're gonna go there. Fog of war. We're over. We're done. So, I'm here. John's here. You guys are here. That's all that matters. And you know what? Let's go grab John, and then we'll get into it. We got a couple things to cover tonight, and let's have some fun. So, all right, John, what are you up to? Let me bring you in, sir. I know where you're at. Right here. There we go.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer.
I dropped the bomb on you.
I heard it. It rattled my ears there for a second. I don't have any idea what happened there, and we're not going to worry about it. But you know, the whole thing is like,
you can't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it, but it gets to a point where I want to know what happened, like what went down. I was just out of curiosity, you know.
I think it was Tracy Parks.
No, she is a complete saboteur of my channel. I learned that a long time ago.
She only comes to watch you, though.
I know.
She never watches me.
Well, she should. In fact, she said she can hear me, so sigh. That's great. Roxanne, how you doing? So great to hear. Oh, it was like 5 in the morning over her time. We got some highs. I'm going to blow right through some of these, get caught up, because, well, you know, that's what you do. We can hear you sniffling. Yeah. A little bit of crying in the back room.
Hi, Vince.
A lot of swearing in my head. Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate the help. I'm going to move you guys over here. It's so stupid to look over there.
I saw Amateo's here, too.
I saw that. I was just going to pull that up. He's beautiful music there. I have a feel for you.
There I love that music. I have a feel for you.
Yeah. You got to have fun with the music. Let's see here. We got everybody saying hi. Sammy! How you doing, Sammy? On this fall day. Got really fall-y out there today. You're never late. Steve, how are you doing? I don't think you've ever stepped foot in this chat that I'm aware of. And we are so happy to have you here to say hi. How are you? Let us know a little something about yourself, where you come from. Thank you for stopping in, Steve. Dig it. Love the flag.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Nice to meet you, sir. Welcome. And it's always my fault. Well, seems to be.
Tracy's bashing me.
I see this as, yeah, I'm trying to better myself, and your live stream interferes sometimes. I heard that.
Because she goes to the gym is what she said, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. First time. So great to see you. You know, normally awesome. we come in a little smoother than that. Today we slid in like we were surfing on gravel. So that's always fun, well, you know. That's what you
The live streaming struggle is real. I mean, it doesn't always work perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
This is not StreamYard. This is complicated software. And
this is vMix.
Sometimes it takes a bit.
This is a little bit tough at times. And it's not even the vMix fault. That there's something that's going on my USB with, I've noticed this a little bit with the Wave XLR. Don't know what's going on. I think it's time for maybe an upgrade. If I cry a lot and pout, my wife will let me buy a new computer. And that's the way we do things around here. pout, slam the desk, cry. It's kind of effective. It's not that effective.
I'm not going to say anything here. I just go to B&H and bad things happen.
I like that. I like that. That's a great T-shirt. I go to BH and bad things happen. I love that. Steve says, born and raised in Detroit, living in Oahu, Hawaii for 13 years now. Self-employed plumber.
Oh, that's cool.
Sir, that's really awesome. In fact, I could use a plumber. So if you want to head over to this, it's very warm in the Great Lakes region right now. So we've got some great surfing if you want to come over here. Detroit. Yeah. I grew up around Detroit over there in Port Huron. Port Huron, a little bit up there. And right around Detroit. Mm-hmm.
My father-in-law is a master plumber. And the other thing is that I have family in Kauai for the last 20 so or more years. I
remember when they jumped on here. That was really cool.
Yes.
Yes. In fact, it was like the whole family was here. They're like, hey, John.
Right. I know.
And you're like,
Cali, Hawaii. My wife.
Abels, how you doing,
Abels
sir?
Treasures.
Very nice to see you on this Tuesday. You know what? I took a walk around. I'm making myself get out because I can feel my bones. It's about ready to get to be 20 below here, up here in the Milwaukee area. And so I'm trying to enjoy that last death grip of fall. We still have some trees that are trying to hold on to those golden maple leaves. And I'm like, I know, I take my dog, I'm like, that's so sad. Yesterday there was like a quarter of a tree left and now there's less than that. And we have discussions about how the trees are just really emptying out right now. And it's so sad because I hate that.
It was like down to 27, I think, last night. And then today, during the day, it was like 60. So it's real nice during the day once it warms up. Yeah,
it's nuts. You just got to enjoy it. I love the fall, but I don't. There just gets a point where you realize the reality. And usually that's when my wife and my family are like, well, what do you want to do for Thanksgiving? And I'm like, oh, so winter's here. The good stuff's over with. And we're talking about that now. Okay.
Right. Christmas is here.
Snap. That was really quick. Omateo says the vMix looks great. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. I love the software, and all honesty, it wasn't the software that was hooking us up tonight. I've enjoyed it. John got me into it. We've been really working it hard, wrestling with it, and I'm going to try out some new things tonight with it. If you guys can be patient, I'm going to try some things out on you guys as I blow through a couple topics, some quick topics. I have some Q&As. If you guys are around, you want to get into some Q&A stuff. And, John and I, if you are new to the channel, like Steve, our good new friend, look, we're here to talk about anything that has to do with your YouTube journey, right, John? So we obviously talk a lot about tech. John is really our coffee talk and tech guy. He's that guy. I love tech, so I can talk it, but I also really enjoy that wonderment and journey and all the issues behind our inner tech. And we get together and we do a mashup twice a week. Yeah. And John has his on Thursdays, and mine is on Tuesday. So I thank any of you that's dropped in. I also want to just thank everybody this week. If you are here, I'll do it again later. But I had a lot of support recently on some new subscribers. I think we're pushing around 240, which is wonderful. And I appreciate that.
Pounds, baby. Pounds.
Pounds, baby.
Baby.
42 times on the rack.
Boom, boom.
I'll be able to bench you soon, sir.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that little jump up, and that's always a nice thing, right? It feels good. Yeah. And, I like your background looks really good. It's coming along all the time. And I'm streamlining some things. I was going to talk to you about that, and something we could talk about at the show. But I've realized I've got some things coming up that are pretty exciting, and I want to start dealing with the content more issues. And as much as I love vMix, I need that to settle into more of a plug and play proposition. And so I've been really putting in some time to template things out, get that Stream Deck really settled out, and try to do what John and I talk about, just nibbling along the way. So, yes. So I may have put this up, but your guys' studio looks amazing. Noticing how you blend everything to create an amazing live stream together, nice backgrounds. Thank you. We try to put the great thing is, I was going to say, Amateo knows, because if you remember, early on, I mean, we used to see him and a lot, and he knows what we looked like from the beginning. And I think it's just he's been working hard on his channel, and it shows, right? Because, he's doing fantastic, and this is an example of somebody that's just worked his butt off to make it happen.
Absolutely.
And he's done his first live stream. I was lucky to be there, and then he sees us now improving, and it's just great because he's like one of those people that's been around for about 6 of the 8, 6 or 8, 7 months or so.
We are up to, I think this is our 53rd stream. We haven't missed a Tuesday or Thursday since we started.
Yeah.
And we've averaged, we're averaging at least 2 hours of stream. So we've put up about 104 hours between us since really about June, but you could say a little into May. And that's a really, that's cool, man. That's a lot of hours. And we've had a lot of people here all the time doing our thing. And yeah, man, it's really exciting. Let me grab some chat real quick before I get into my.
I was counting it. A little bit, Jeff, and I'm almost like at 250 hours in the last 6 months of streaming.
I know, you've got a lot. It's insanity, man. I haven't. You did a little bit more. You had that big run when your 1,000 crossover, and that was a big night, of course. Thank you, Vinny. And Steve says, yeah, I'm listening on my earbuds while I work, so I'm here. Just might not be that active in chat. Well, you know what, Steve? Appreciate it. Every
no problem.
Thought counts. I am really happy to meet you. Very happy to do that. Thank you for stepping in and saying something, and let us know anything you have questions about. We talk about tech. We talk about intertech, and I hope people don't get confused. It doesn't matter where you're from. I don't care if you're a crafter or, we talk about crafters. We talk about people who are creatives, or, I've gotten to talk to people who are doing their prepping channels or paranormal channels or whatever. It doesn't really matter to me because
doesn't matter what it is.
It doesn't matter. If we're utilizing YouTube, we all have a shared experience to talk about. And that's what this is. This is not about like, it's got to be talking about the Sony ISO setting for, no, I don't care. I mean, I do care, but everybody here, and some people may come in here and they're not currently creating we often forget this, but there's a big active part of the YouTube community that are really supporters. They don't really create yet. Maybe they want to, but they are out there supporting channels like ours and others. And they are so critical to this process as far as feedback, as far as energy, and all that stuff. And sometimes I do think they kind of get left out. I mean, we try to thank them, but just know if you're a lurker, if you're somebody who's in and you're subscribing and maybe you don't want to necessarily get involved, just know you matter. So that's important to me to get out.
I'll tell you, Jeff, I've had a couple people in the last couple weeks reach out, and they're watching us, and they're not saying much in the background.
I know.
And they're taking it in, and they've learned about audio. And you know how we've always said, there's like, 20 people watching or 15 people watching, and then we got like 8 people chatting.
Right.
So other people are watching.
Yeah, they're in there.
So they're taking in this. Yeah, they're in there. And they're taking in this stuff, and they're starting to ask questions, and they're starting to come out of the woodwork. And that's what's really great, because sometimes we get caught up into the deeper tech or the more advanced.
Right.
And
forget about that stuff.
Some of the really basic things. And sometimes don't be afraid if you're watching. Yeah. If you need an answer from you think is a square one beginning, it's okay to answer that.
Please ask it.
To ask it, right?
Yes.
So if we're talking about something that's maybe you think is above your level, it doesn't matter. Everything is reversible for us. We can go back to the bottom.
Exactly. We will go back to talking about how to use a USB mic or your phone or the simplest things to get, because content to us is king. In the end, we're just here to help anybody along their different paths and evolution to get them to that next step, and also to learn for our own next steps, because we're always in the game. I want to just quickly see somebody's important in here, and let's all give Amy a hand and let her know how important it is that I do indeed get a new desktop so my audio doesn't make me have an anxiety breakdown every Tuesday. So, if you guys want to just send her a little DM, that would be absolutely wonderful. Nice to see you, Amy. And look at Philly Flippers here. I'm glad that, you know what, Philly?
Hey.
I'm glad to know that we're your favorite llama farm. Like, how many llama farms do you follow on YouTube and get into the chat?
This guy's into the llamas.
Yeah, I know. That's Brian Griffin. Okay. Of course, my first thing is, really, Brian Griffin? Or, because Family Guy, I was thinking, right? Because Brian Griffin is Family Guy. Okay. I thought Brian's the dog, though, right? I'm just totally insulting this person right out of the gate, probably.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It just came to me because I'm a child. Brian, I believe this is your first time in my stream, and I'm so happy. This is our StreamBud stream, and so happy to have you. Thank you for stopping in. And have you met Brian along the way yet yourself, John?
No, this is the first time. So,
well,
I thank you very much for coming in. And Cashew's been letting people know more and more about us, and we always thank her and give her a shout out because she's been great to us too.
We have a lot of King of the Buds, and she would be a king, queen, whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Somebody's ruling the roost, and she's been very kind to the channel and on both of our channels and what we do here. And that's the thing. We need support too. We try to give that support out. So appreciate. Brian, if you want to drop, like if you have an interest, if you have your own journey, if you're just here to support, that's cool. Anything you want to let us know about yourself, we'd love to know. If you want to just lurk or you want to just say hey and bail, that's fine. But it does matter to come in and say hi like you did, and it matters to us. So I appreciate that, and thank you for saying something. Appreciate that so much.
I like your point, right? Because you were just saying before, and this is what I think our one of our friends, also Tommy Bernhardt's podcast, was saying, is that even though we're on that different spectrum thing, right? It doesn't matter because we're all trying to get better on YouTube, and that's what's really awesome is that people can come to us and we can connect in that way. And I want to just say this, and I know that we're going to be repeating ourselves a little bit because when we have new people in, it takes a second.
It does.
But the tech is the tech, right? And that's just one aspect of it. But your channel is what you're striving to make better, right? And so learning the tech for the content is important, but also Jeff is a master of learning the productivity behind the tech that's going to be involved when your channel starts growing. And I am incorporating those things. See, I have a little head start on Jeff with the channel situation. And so he's behind me on that, but we both started streaming together. But the productivity aspect becomes so vital for continued success. And so I just want people to realize that it's not just what you see on the outside, the inside of working your strategy in a productive way is super important also, rather than just looking good too.
It's absolutely important. And because everybody, and it kind of gets into a little bit what I want to talk about, and you know what, I can lay that out there now and talk about some other things. But I usually do a two-parter. I started doing a two-parter with these streams to kind of just guide along. And if you did check out the thumbnail, basically, I usually try to do a little bit of an outer tech or a little bit of a techie thing, productive thing, and then I try to have something that has to do more with ourselves. We call here at the channel an inner tech, and it's something we're working with. We're trying. We're fleshing out. I wore this shirt tonight for a reason. It's a shirt that means a lot to me. And it says, we are all stories in the end. And it kind of relates to what John was just saying. And that if you're here on YouTube for whatever reason, you have a story. And that story, you will need some tech to get the story out, or you'll need to understand YouTube, or you'll need to understand yourself through motivation, your own down, your down moments, your own up moments, all that stuff, right? So the way I set it up tonight was, and you know what, I'll just do it. I'm going to get a couple people, then I'll go to it. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I want to cover these people. They came in here and said hi, so I want to. So Steve said, right back at you, Steve, right here. He said, yes. So Cashew introduced me to you guys. Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
And Cashew, and thank you for saying so. It's really appreciated. Yes, the best. So let's just get that out of the way. So there's no second best. So I'll send you, you can have the mug that says, world's best moderator. Like a best father. You could have the world. That would be a great mug, actually, now that I think about it. Roxanne says, of course, Vince, it's Cashew Wonderland over here. It is, honestly. That's not what I was hoping for.
But it's everybody.
I was hoping for more of, nice to see you. Why doesn't he have a new computer yet? All that kind of stuff. I mean, it's great you guys are giving her highs, but, that's fine. Abel says, yes, you've been very helpful for this novice. And that's really where we really sit. We want the novice, the new people, those who haven't jumped in yet we call everybody here stream buddies or stream buds. We're here to nurture that. No, it could be buds. We call it stream buds. It could be whatever you want, but we're trying to nurture that, help that grow. So I like what John said about, man, don't hesitate or don't feel that anything here, that you don't belong just because something at one moment will be over your head. It's I guarantee you will get under your head really quick.
Right. Because we were, I was there a year ago. I didn't know how to use any of this tech. And, I expressed this a couple times, like Jeff knows how I am. I'm a very hyper-focused person. So I'll learn everything there is to learn about something very fast. And I just engorge myself with it. And he's very similar.
I am. Yeah. I do that. The engorge just really stood out. But it was kind of like a nail on the chalkboard response. But yeah, engorge is a word. You're a tick who likes to absorb the information. I'm the same way. You're right. I get myself distracted a little bit by doing that. It does happen. Brian says it is my real name, and I do get it. Yeah, man, I get it. I love the name. It just took me back, and I didn't want to insult you, but I'm glad you said something. You had a good sense of humor about it. Amadeus says, yes, John, there are some silencers that are paying attention. More than what you think. They're watching. They are. They're back there watching, and you know what? I'm glad that they're doing it. So if you're there and you're a lurker doing your thing, if you're enjoying this at all or getting anything, great. Appreciate it. You'll come back and that's great. When you're ready, you're ready. So Philly does follow a few llama farms. Not saying that I'm jealous at all, but it does bug me a little bit. But I follow a ton of Amtrak workers too. Okay. Here we go. Jeff, what happened to the llama cup? Oh, you mean the llama mug? It's upstairs in the dish rack.
It's upstairs in the dish rack.
Yeah, I love that mug, and you know what? You got me on that. I'm going to do that. So Brian's another one. The cashew pointed our way, and again, thank you so much for coming this way. Nose picking. It's either this or churn butter. Well, you can churn butter at the same time. Now I don't know nose picking. Nose picking. I like the name. But I like that. First of all, butter churning. Is that by hand? I mean, that's kind of a tough deal, isn't it? I mean, that takes a long time to churn. It's a big
that
deal.
Farm butter tastes so good.
But it's so good, right? I mean, I just get blisters thinking about it. I mean, good Lord, absolutely awesome. I'm going to put that up there every time. Zan's in the round here in the town. Zan says, "We are all stories in the end is better than being the end of the story." Yeah. I didn't, of course, come up with this quote. This is from Doctor Who, because nerds fly alike. But I heard it one night. I heard it one night watching a repeat recently, and I just love it. I love that we are all stories, because we are. And I think sometimes people feel like they're not part of the story because they're just reading. But the story is absolutely useless unless someone's watching it or reading it, honestly. If you know what I mean, it's great. I created this super music. I created this super art. And if no one in the world except me sees it, you can say, oh, okay, it doesn't matter. I created it. No, it kind of doesn't matter. You need to have the true energy of the joy of it. You got to have somebody see it and absorb it.
Enjoy it.
That's my job. Zen says, do you like the picture-in-picture feature in StreamYard?
It doesn't matter to me because we wouldn't have used it anyway, but it's good for StreamYard.
Yeah. I mean, we're in vMix, but I mean, I was in StreamYard. In fact, I'm going to jump in there in a second because I want to show something really quick. But I'll look. Brian's around.
That came
What's
out
up, cool
today,
cat?
by the way.
What's that? Yes, it did.
The
I saw it when I was.
came out today.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then
I think it's great.
Keys came out 2 days ago.
The what keys? The hotkeys?
The hotkeys, so you can attach your Stream Deck to do some stuff.
They needed that. We were talking about that. I think last week we were talking about that, how annoying it is.
None of that applies to us at all because even when we were using StreamYard, we were either using OBS or we were using vMix. So everything's attached through a virtual cam into those places.
Catch I stole pickings from another stream that was showing some butter churning. Well, look, if I have to get a cow from down the road and do some churning of butter to make this work, just let me know, and I will.
But there's a good chance, Jeff, that we're a little bit more exciting than butter churning. Just a slight chance.
Really? I don't know. Okay, Tommy.
I hope so.
Llama asked you a question. He probably waited all night. I can just see Tommy at 4 a.m. He's finally done with his 8-hour stream, or Saturday night, whatever. And he's thinking, I got to come up with something. I got to come up with a pun for John on the llama. And then he came up with it like 4:30 in the morning, and he's been waiting probably for days to get that out. I'm glad he got it out.
He asks good questions, though.
Tommy? Does he?
Yeah.
Really?
Usually.
Okay. On our stream, you mean?
Sometimes.
Of course he does. I didn't say he doesn't ask good questions.
When we get into the nitty gritty.
I didn't say he doesn't. Of course he does. He knows what he's doing. I mean, but I'm just saying he's got the llama, llama. I try to bring a little fun to the show. Absolutely. Got to do it. I'm going to catch a cup here. Turn that butter. Yeah, people. What's this? Sammy says, yeah, watching you guys and redoing my set. I think your set should just be put on wheels because you're always redoing that set, which I respect. I was just thinking today, maybe I should just finish that little trimming and the painting and actually, because I want to do this. So, okay. Another moderator. Got it. Okay. I think he slipped on butter.
Oh, okay.
Yikes.
I can't believe that's not butter, though.
I can't believe it, Marjorie. I feel that, Jeff. Viewing, listening is part of the story. It is, right? I mean, it is part of the story.
What's up, Brian?
He's right. I mean, do you write the story just for yourself, or you try to write the story with an idea of how somebody who's reading it might take that in, and how a lot of different people with different perspectives and biases and levels might take that in differently. I think, you see it with movies where they try to give you endings that you could Rorschach that thing, and you decide what that ending meaning without someone telling it to you, and everybody walked away with a different, not everybody, but a lot of people walk away with a different
something
interpretation.
A little different, right?
Yeah, and I kind of think that's really pulling it out, right?
Interpretation's always, something that comes about when there's an open end.
Yeah. Real Tech with Melissa. Hey, Melissa, how you doing? I think I saw you jumped even on earlier. How listening to you guys in editing, and what
Real
are you editing?
Talk.
Real Talk. Are you edit? What do you edit
Real
in?
Talk.
I'm just curious what you edit in. I don't know what you edit in. So, is it DaVinci?
Hey.
Is it what?
It's Real Talk with Melissa.
I know, but I just said Melissa because. Why are you angry?
No, you said Real Tech. Real Tech.
Did I really? I got to tell you,
so.
It might have been the audio issues at the beginning that caught me. Sorry about that. That's.
I know.
It's Real Talk
listen,
with Melissa. People, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, really.
Barons.
All right. So let me just do this quick. So because I don't want to belabor the point. I want to get on to a question or two. So speaking of StreamYard, one of the biggest complaints we've seen, and Tommy, has been, just going right at Tommy if he's still around, is the issue with dark mode. And I agree. And I don't understand why StreamYard continues to drag their knuckles on this simple feature. I mean, you should be able to get anybody who's written a dark theme or dark mode in CSS as an extension and plop it into your little software appy. It's not that big of a deal. They keep ignoring it, though. So I don't understand what that's all about. So it annoys me, too, because my eye strain, because of the way I want to keep my background not lit up with 3 monitors. And if you try, you can't use, there is no dark mode for StreamYard natively. So I did some searching around and I kept running into roadblocks because a lot of the extensions that are out there, if you've used StreamYard and tried to use them, they don't play nice with the CSS style sheets of, I'm going to pull up desktop here.
That's like this script, right? Of the channel.
Yeah, so CSS styles are the HTML code or whatever. They're going to do the custom style sheets is what they are. So that's where you're going to do font sizes, colors, and all these. You can get into really deep stuff. I'm going to get off of this. So in my extensions here, I had gone into Chrome and looked for different extensions and to try to pull this off. Now I do have StreamYard up and I have a website. This website is a friend of mine who is French Canadian who plays games with me once in a while. See at these. We're putting together a new website for him. And this is on my server here, but we've been putting it together. So if it's French, ignore it. But we're doing this in Elementor, which is cool, and I'm trying to teach him. But we're going to use this as a little quick example. So we're in white mode here. I'm going to show you guys the plugin, what the issues were, and how this works, I think, really well. Not only for StreamYard, but also I think it works really well for any extension. So I'm just going to make sure I'm missing.
So this will work for any website that doesn't have a dark mode?
Absolutely. Any page. And the nice thing is most of the dark themes and extensions you get are one-off. You hit either it's on or it's off. This thing's got a granular level where you can choose a website page or a site and do some things. And I'm going to show you that really quick. If I miss you guys, I will backtrack on this, but let me just do this really quick and then we can get back on schedule if that's okay. All right. So if you've been in StreamYard or if any kind of thing, web page, I'm going to give two web pages. We have StreamYard and we have this guy here. I'm just going to show you the problem I've had with StreamYard. Down here, when we have to add or remove to a user to, this is just a background of your llamas, but if we have to add somebody down, we usually have this add to stream rollover, right? Now, what would happen is you would use an extension for dark, and all this rollover was getting pushed out, was being overwritten by the extension's style sheets. It was really annoying. So you couldn't even use it. Or if you would go into the settings, this would all be gone. You couldn't use it. It was just kind of a mess all the way around. Even if you tried to get in here, you couldn't even see any of the original text. So what I did was I kept searching around and found this extension, and it's called Dark Reader. Okay. And you can find this, by the way, cool. You can find this in Chrome's extensions. I'm going to go to their page. And if you just type in Dark Reader, it will come up. I also put in the description a link to their actual vlog informational page. It gives a little more information about it and links, and they have a donate. And I always say, if you do use it and like it, donate a couple dollars to the devs. They do a good job. Yeah. But that said, so how does this work?
This is so needed too, Jeff.
It is. It's so annoying. So very simple to use. So once you've downloaded the extension or added it, of course, it dumps into your Chrome extensions. And of course, if you don't know where to find that, you're going to find that in like your settings. I believe that's in your, is it your more tools? I can't remember now. I usually go up here and I think I right click on the settings and get it. I right click on there and just go manage settings. So once you're in there, you turn them on or off. Okay. So mine's clearly on right now. But let's take you out here. So I don't like the white background in StreamYard. It's too bright. It lights everything up. And I can already see it on my camera picking up. So just to give you, so let's up here, if you can see, it's hard to see, I know, but here's our little extension. And we're literally just going to click it. And it pops up. And what I like about this, it's got an on-off button, which turns the extension on or off globally. Now we're going to turn it on. And you're going to see to the left of that also the website that I'm currently on, StreamYard, and it's got a checkbox. So what I like about this is the global on and off means if I turn that on or off for every page on or off, okay, it's either going to go white or dark. It's going to be on or off. But if you want it on and you want to start selecting which pages, so right now, all my pages are dark mode. So that website I was telling you about, it's dark mode, that one, my B&H, free, all these are going to be dark mode now, right? So
I love that.
It's really nice on my eyes. And you'll see down here, the rollover still exists. So that problem no longer exists.
So if you get the separation between everything there.
Yes.
Right? Because you could see it clearly, and you get to use dark mode.
Yeah. And what I really like is you can then get in to do some granular things on this site. First of all, if I don't want it on StreamYard, but I want it on my other sites, I would just check that website off, and you're going to see this site still has the dark mode. This one still has a dark mode. So you can choose which websites. I like that so much because sometimes some sites just don't play well with others. So we'll turn that back on, and you'll see. Now, what you're going to see is some sliders here. You got for brightness, for example. So you have a little control on that dark mode. I can make it really dark.
Jeff, what's the name of this extension again?
It's called Dark Reader.
Dark. Okay, right at the top.
Dark Reader block. Okay. Yep. And then you have a contrast mode, which, if you ever use contrast, it sort of mutes it out or it pops whatever you have that's colored right out really deep. Now, there's one more thing about this that I like, and that is, other than just being an on-off button, which is most of them are, there's a more button. And what I like about this is if you want to add some...
There's more?
There's more. But wait, there's more. So you can actually make the text on this page bolder. Now, why you want to do that, I don't know, but you might want to. But what I do like, there is a font override on this page. And so if you, for whatever reason, don't like the font, some people like more of Times, that more Roman numeral stuff, or some people like the sans. So you can check this, and you can see it changes that font to whatever font you choose from. Now, I personally like, where's that one? This one right here. It's just really kind of light, and I don't like any. Okay, so it's overriding the CSS on here. Now, to do this before, you'd have to inspect the page, you'd have to go in and file in the style sheets, and you'd have to do it yourself through here. And I've done it. It doesn't change it permanently. It just lets you override that. But it's most people aren't going to play around with that stuff. These guys did a really good job with this to give you some basic controls if you just want some things granular dealt with. Now, we could turn that back off.
Right.
So let's just show another website, though. So this is the website we're working on. It's in dark mode. We'll just do the same thing. If we want to come here and turn off this website, that website then will be turned off. I think we're going to have to go next page. There we go. Now he's back normal. But again, if you want to turn that back on, and then you can mess around with the brightness and darkness of what fits your eyes. Because there is going to be a level of contrast. Like if I go really low darkness and I drop the contrast, everything starts to blend together. So, some pages are just different than others. So you're going to want to play around with that at times to dial in what works for you. So anyway, I really dig this. It's free. I think it's really powerful. And I'm using it on all my pages. I'm going to download it. Yeah, give it a shot. But for StreamYard,
could you imagine?
It's a winner.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because we've used StreamYard for hours, and we could have just had hours of not being so bright, and and it would have been nice. So this is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is good, though, for the people who are using StreamYard, though, and now you have an option to not have that bright white all the time. So
and the cool. Or anything. Now, I think Restream already has a dark mode, but if you're using any browser that will take this. Now, Vivaldi, if you're using that, most people don't know, but Vivaldi is built off the Chrome. I love it. It's a production value, or it's really a powerful tool. But it's a great browser. I like it because it will take Chrome extensions really well. So that's cool. This also can be found on iPhones and iPads in their software, but I've not seen it in Android yet, so that's kind of a downer. Yes, engage dark mode, John. All right, I like it dark. So let me get caught up real quick. If you have any questions about it, let me know. See you later, Nose Pickens. Great to see you. We've got a dancing monkey now. Yeah, anytime you got a dancing monkey. I'm sorry you weren't around years ago when I actually owned little marmosets. We made them dance all the time. They always had fun. Yeah, the Flipping Sports Guy, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Love dark mode on almost every site. Never knew you could do that with StreamYard. That's awesome. Yeah, I was really frustrated, Sports Guy. I tried everything. The themes just don't work, and so many. I don't know if StreamYard has since changed their CSS. They do that a lot, how they're doing it, or if the devs, usually what happens, they get wise to it, and then they write specific style overrides for a specific site. I'm not sure how it went down, but I have to say kudos to this developer. I'm really happy for that. That's really cool. Just came in. Did you answered the question, I believe? But yes, it is the dark mode. Yeah,
that's why I asked.
And I'll just, for what it's worth, I'll flip it up here. But it's the Dark Reader. They call it Dark Reader Blob. But if you look up Dark Reader, again, it's in my description of this video or this live. Cool. I have a link to this.
That's perfect.
And maybe Cashew, if she hasn't already, could grab it and dump it in, or somebody that's mod could grab that and dump that in for everybody. But yeah, that link is there. And if you go into Chrome extensions, you just type Dark Reader, it will pop right up. In fact, it should be at the top. Right here at the top for that result. So either way, you'll run into it. So
I know a lot of the eBay resellers are using StreamYard, and a lot of people in general. So and some of us, especially me, I love dark mode. So if I'm streaming for a couple hours or something, to be able to have that is awesome. So
I don't know. My eyes John and I in the last few weeks both have taken our cameras and moved the ISO up a little bit so we could drop all of our lights down to like 1%. If you come into this room, it's actually really dark, but these cameras and these lenses are amazing at picking up light, so it seems really bright. Of course, now I have the light mode on. But wait, there's more. How many of us grew up with that whole Ginsu knife thing? That was crazy. Yeah, it does sound like the next Star Wars villain. I like it. It's true. Dark mode. I'm going dark mode on you, John. That'd be great. It's like,
Dark
Luke, I used to read to you when you were small. Yeah. Roxanne says, have you noticed that Telegram had a night system and a dark system? The night system is midnight blue, while the dark system blends with the dark theme. I haven't used it in a while. I do have Telegram. That's a great program, and it works really well on your PC, by the way. So you can type easy and all that. I like the app. I haven't actually really looked at that, so that actually has me interested. I'll have to check that out. Thank you for dropping that nugget. Tommy says, when I tried a dark mode extension with StreamYard, I couldn't change cameras and such. Is that fixed? Yeah, so just to give him, I know exactly, and that was what I wanted to emphasize here. So Tommy was seeing down here. So this is where my camera would be. My camera's, I guess, off. Well, let me just do this. There I am. It's my laptop. Hi guys. So let's say Tommy's here and he wants to put a guest on. You're going to go here. What he was saying is that add to stream rollover, the CSS style was blown out. You couldn't do anything. There was nothing to click. So that happens, unfortunately, when you have these CSS style collisions. They don't play well. And Tommy, I ran into the same thing. And so it rendered it useless. It was essentially locking you out of the feature. It was doing the same thing in some of these other areas as well. It wasn't playing great in the branding area and all that stuff either. So now, no problem. So StreamYard didn't fix it, but this particular, now I did try, just want to say, I did use another extension, I believe my original one, and it is now working. So they probably fixed it after a lot of complaints. But the problem is this. These extensions are wanting. It's fine, it works, but it doesn't. It's such a one-off. You can only turn it on or off. And then you have to go into your extensions to turn it on or off. I just use Alt-Shift-D to turn it on. You could toggle it. With a keystroke, you can toggle it at the top. You can choose which websites you want on or off. You don't it doesn't have to be all or nothing. So for me, that's a deal breaker if you can't get at that fine-tuning, like sub channels. Right. Oh, Misha Renee, I believe that's how you would pronounce this.
See,
hey, fellas.
It's Misha. Hi, Misha.
I love that name, by the way, Misha. You don't run into a lot of Mishas.
I like that fact that you can change each channel, like right there.
Right. Boom, boom,
that's
boom. Right.
Awesome. It's not like all or nothing, and you like that, like you said, you like that individual that you can do, and that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, I don't like being locked into all or nothing because it never works out.
Cool.
You always run into issues doing that. So we got some Mishas. Misha, has Misha dropped in here before? I can't.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. It's nice to see you again. I hope you're well. Looks like Tommy's saying hi to her. Yeah,
she's always in the streams.
That's what I thought. Yeah. It looks like Cashew and Roxanne has. I clicked the link. Never mind. I was gonna do this. Is what I meant to do. Hang on a second. See if it works. Oh, it doesn't do that. You can't put the link in through. Yeah. Can you? Yeah, you can. There we go. Just so you know, it's up there. Let's just ignore Jeffrey. Yeah. You know what though, Tommy? Even 2 weeks ago, I wasn't having any luck. So whatever this is, either people are just getting wise to it, or there was I don't know what happened, but this is the first time, and it's great. So that's that, and I'm really glad you guys saw that, and for a few of you that might work. Again, we're showing it for StreamYard because that's such a hang up for so many of us that are using it, but it will work on any browser. So, I mean, any page. Right. You don't have to go just to StreamYard, which is the greatest thing. So that's kind of nice. So you can keep anything dark behind the scenes, which I'm a big fan of. So, big fan.
Yeah, me too.
So that's it. That's the exciting outer tech I brought to you today. Everybody have a good night. See everybody. I'm just kidding. No, I got excited about it because I'm like, this is stuff that it's so simple, but I've heard Tommy complain about for a long time, and he's right. StreamYard, for whatever reason, they're devs, and they're the face of that company just seem to have deaf ears to people like Tommy. They don't want to listen. I don't know what to say, man.
I put a couple comments in the last time actually 2 times ago when they did their whatever they do, the whole thing where they meet up each. Yeah, and you just they totally ignored, which I thought was a real good question. And Dan C was there, and he's like, they do the same thing to me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you know, I have a new thing tonight, and I was going to put it on there while I was talking. This is what I meant. So now let's pretend like I was doing the demo and I wasn't able to read chat. I was going to put this up, and it was going to be the current topic in case somebody walked in and I couldn't address them. And it's going to say, hey, we're talking about the StreamYard dark mode option. So, but we didn't do that. We did not do that. And I say we, meaning me.
But you could have.
I could have. I think it'd be nice if you guys just get a time machine and go back and, you know, pretend that all happened. That'd be fine. And then I was going to add
Darn
this.
well could have.
You could do it. If you really guys cared, you would just build your own time machines and go back and make it happen. Mm-hmm. So
Well,
I don't know.
I think that's good. And
yeah.
No,
Go
what were you gonna say?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh no, I think that's good. That's a little niblet, like, and I think that lately, a few people that have come over here, right? Because we're getting an influx of a lot of new people, and so when they get into the space, they're so new to what they're doing is they don't know where to begin with things. And so they get caught up into our conversations sometimes where we are. And that's why we just want to keep on expressing to everybody, feel free to throw a question in, even if it breaks that conversation or it's out of what we're talking about. We are here to give info for people. And what I'll say it again,
You're
thrilled
welcome,
about
Clippings.
is that people are reaching out and asking questions and going further with things. And, you know, I always keep that information between me, who's asking, who's not, but they are, unless they say something, right? But people are asking questions, and these people are going to improve. You're going to see their streams improve. You're going to hear their sound improve. And, that's great to know that they're picking up what we're putting down over here.
Yeah. And it's, you know, look, it's not easy because there are people with a varying degree of needs and tech. And we also like people to come here, and we'd like to talk and hang out and have other discussions. We love that. It's not all tech. It's not all intertech. It's sometimes just hang out here and we'll talk about things that make no sense. But we enjoy that too. It's a community. And so if somebody wants to bring up anything on their journey or what their life is going on, we always like, let's talk about that. We have no problem. We get into music quite often. You know, we get into other people's channels. We like to talk about those things. So I like that we don't limit that. And for the new people, we just want you to know that we do move around on these subjects, and that's important. I'm going to pop up another ticker. So I just wanted to set it out in motion. Plus, I just, I built these. I want to try them out. And the reason I'm doing this, I'll probably evolve this. I did it quick today. is I think it's hard because we are moving in and out. People come fast and furious in and out, and we're talking about a subject. And sometimes it's nice to throw up there what we're talking about because they have no idea. They'll say, "What are you talking about?" And so, I want people to get that idea right away when they come in, and I might use it for other things just to help people engage, or maybe we'll never use it again. We'll see. People can let me know if they like these kind of updates and what's going on. But I
think a streamer always looks good.
A ticker?
Yeah, I think a ticker always looks good. I mean, because if it's relevant to what's going on.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out because we do. There are times when we can't really deal with chat as much at that moment. And like I said, I think I'm working this out, trying to think it through. And I think there's a lot of potential for working that out. But what we're going to talk about next, John, and of course, I want your answer on this, and I'm going to drop mine at the end. There's no right or wrong answer. Huh?
I would always like a ticker about this stuff rather than somebody just putting like and subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Not going to do that. I mean,
what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to, you're right. I'm not, even me, I don't want to judge people who do that. Do what you do, I'll do me. John will do John. I don't care to do that.
I'll judge.
No, I'll
do the judging.
I'm just going to you guys
and the reason we say that is let your stuff speak for itself, let your stream speak for itself, let the content you're showing speak for itself.
Right.
And being brand new, no one knows who you are. So if the first thing you're putting up there and saying is like and subscribe, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of odd, I think. So, because I think they have to get their feet wet. They have to do the work. And it's kind of like, I don't know. Just
Hey,
it's
look,
not me, definitely. I'll tell you that.
If it speaks to people and you're giving them value, they'll like eventually. They'll sub. I don't need to drag them by their hair to the watering hole and say drink. I mean, they'll figure it out. And sometimes people in chat will say, hey, maybe hit a like button and I'll stoke them. But I mean, I don't need to pound people over the head. That's not who I am. And I know people will chastise me for that, and probably people who have 1 million subscribers. You should do that. Maybe. And maybe someday I'll get a light bulb and it'll make sense to me. But I don't know. It's just not something I really care about doing.
Yeah.
I know
people will
John,
just be mad at me and not you. They could be mad at me and not you. So, and that's fine. I could do that well. So
that's true. Misha says, y'all saving, I like y'all, by the way. Y'all saving me money from the auctions going on. I'm working and listening. Yeah, sometimes those auctions get a little exciting. I remember when eBay, I don't know, eBay still exists, but I remember you and I talked about how I got into the sniping app when that was like really popular. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to use it. And I would just sit there, that sniping app, and I was just having so much fun. And it would just cost me a lot of money. And I didn't even care what I bought. I was just loving winning something. It felt like a win. They knew what they're doing. They had me coming. Yeah, you're not the only one. We're weak too. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah. Trust me. You have no idea.
Yeah, it is. It is weird and a little bit sales pitchy.
Okay.
It's good to hear people's opinions. I don't want to stand over people and tell them what to do. I think if it's okay to say what we like, and I know that I already knew that you felt this way, and I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I don't really care to do that. I'm going to earn it by making something that people are interested in, and if you will maybe lose a percentage that you could have gotten, but I don't care.
Here's the way I look at it, Jeff, though, right? If you never know who's watching you, right?
No.
So no matter how small you are, you never know who's watching you. And so you're this brand new YouTuber who's been around for 2 months, and then you're going to go and ask these questions, and they're like, those kinds of people are going to look at you who are serious YouTubers, and they're going to be like, it's not the way you do it, but go for it, you know? And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, you want to take a look. If anyone was watching you, how would it look like? You know what I mean? And some people don't care.
No, I think that's
they
the
don't
thing.
care.
I guess some people are like, I'm just going to put it out there and it's going to, and that's a way too. And you know what? It has worked for a lot of people doing it that way. It's not a way that ever.
But their content's been usually good.
You better be. You know what I mean? Because that, it needs to be. But there are people, unfortunately, who use that pitchiness, and they don't really have the content to back it up. And people notice that right away, and they're like, "Ooh, this is out of balance and stuff." And maybe it's my fear of that. I don't know, but I know that even if I felt like my content was the best in the world, that's not who I am. So that's not really gonna happen. Sorry, I pitched you out. I'll tabbed you out here. Cashew, I think my greatest asset is my sales pitch. Oh, she saw it already. That's interesting. Yeah. So let me get back to that. Yeah. Well, that was a great catch. So what we're going to do on this next topic, what this is we always talk about, not always, it always seems we're trying to get past pain points or friction. So we end up talking about things that we're not really good at. So I thought, let's talk about something that's more positive let's pick something we are good at, or we're good at currently. It doesn't mean you're the best. It doesn't mean you're not going to try to get better at other things. I'm just saying at this moment, what do you feel is your best asset, your best trait as far as doing your YouTube channel or your creativity? And I have a little bit of a help sheet on this to kind of get us thinking about it. And I like the sales pitch. I thought that was actually really good. Let me see. Let me throw it up here. Let me find it. Anyway, don't look at the man behind the camera. I can use my Stream Deck.
Or the llama.
Or the llama. Let's try this. Here we go. It was already set up, but of course, I forgot. So nice. I just threw this up here. So positive creative or 2 YouTube assets that maybe speak to you, maybe is you. So let's run down the list, John. It could be idea generation. So that would be creativity. You have no problem coming up with ideas to create videos or to do your live streams. Filming, of course, shooting that subject, video cameras, using the physical cameras and lighting, editing software, maybe even audio, which is the next one would be you're really good at audio capturing. You're really good at using mics and getting that sound in at the quality that you want. You feel like that might be your best. Of course, productivity, batching your processes, and then we get into a little bit of a different area like analytics, which would be maybe your skill is you understand the YouTube model. You understand the variables of the equation to get yourself discovered, seen, where you're supposed to be at the right time. And then we get into some tertiary, some non-tangible items. So that would be confidence, experience, consistency, and of course, other. Now I have something that popped in my head that I didn't expect, but now it makes so much sense to me for mine, and I will get to that. But I want to talk about that. So just drop, and if you're somebody who doesn't have a channel yet, it doesn't matter. If you're going to do a channel, or maybe you know enough because you watch channels, what do you think should be your biggest asset starting out as a YouTuber? Or what do you hope that your best asset is or think is if you went to start next month or next year? So don't be, there's no wrong answer here. I'm just curious where people are at. And of course, I expect this will change as things evolve, right? So let me grab back over here on the old thing. We'll leave this.
Can I say something quick?
You can anytime, sir. Go for it.
I was just going to say, thinking about these things, right, as you're starting your YouTube channel, once again, we're going to be expressing this more and more because I lived through it and Jeff is working it now. Yeah. And so I had no plan. It was jump into this YouTube channel, learn the tech, keep going, and then all of a sudden find out that I'm serious about my YouTube channel 6 months deep, and then a rush to a frenzy to the end to get monetized in 13 months, right? Which, hey, I am so thankful that it got done and people supported, and it is what it was. But if you pay attention to this list that Jeff has up, it is gonna, and you can work on these things before you actually start the channel. You can begin to make your plan come together before you even do your first video. And then if you have this knowledge base and you see, you definitely can have some video just take off that you did, and you're ready to understand what has to happen because you understand the analytics, you understand the potential that's happening, then you can keep on floating on that very good video. Make another video that can connect to it, something else that can connect to it. You can try to ride this wave and it could take you to the finish line. And so all this stuff is important to learn for you to get monetized a little bit easier, a little bit faster. And everybody has a different path because depending on how trendy your information is or how big of a community you have, live streaming can get you watch hours. But you also got to know that the regular videos is something important because when you get monetized, a lot of those regular view videos will also help you get ad revenue. So you need a little balance of both of them happening.
And it's tough to find the balance. So I'm in the boat of trying to get recorded done. I'm in panic mode, knowing I'm behind. But at the same time, I have a plan. I am working on things. I'm aware of it. There is a plan to try to juice that up. But yeah, everything you said is so spot on about how to deal with that balance, and it's tricky. And so it's good to talk to people if you have questions. I don't know what Brian's doing here, but Brian says I can fit in a DDR3 RAM slot if you use that right hammer. Right. You know what, sir? You were right. You could fit that right in there. Wow, that shirt is dark. Now I don't know. Is she talking about your shirt? Your Beastie Boys shirt?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not sure. Maybe
I'm out of the loop. I feel so bad. Lala, you're always never late. And
Hi.
Always
Hi,
ever. So good to see you, Mommy Lala, and we're going to be on her stream on the 20th, I believe, on a very early morning, doing a craft with the Crafty family there. So
yeah, believe it or not, Jeff and I going on Mommy Guide's channel. Her name is Lala. She is going to have us on to try to be crafty. And I'm just going to try to survive and be funny. Yeah,
it's going to be fingers on the just trying to hold on like that cat, that little kitten on the branch.
It'll be fun.
We're all stories in the end. So I might have been, it's not dark, actually. It's basically saying we are all stories. We are part of the story. So I think sometimes people think we're not part of that story. So I get what you're saying. The end, it starts feeling like finale, but I don't look at it that way,
interpretation.
But I love it because it's a Rorschach test, and I may be completely wrong. So it may be the darkest thing that's ever happened. I only went with it because it was a Doctor Who thing, and so it wasn't dark at the time. But I can see why you would see it as dark. Brian says, I'm good at editing and recording, just not talking. And so we're all dealing with that. Of course, we know Brian really well, and he's fantastic at filming and editing and recording. And that's something he's working on, is the talking, where I think John and I are really good at talking, and then we have our other things we're not great at, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so we're like the opposite. I'm the opposite of Brian.
Yes, you're the opposite of Brian. You're the yin to the yang. You're the ebony and ivory and all that stuff. But let's just chop off the not talking, and let's just hone in on the positive. He is really good at editing and recording, and that's that will take him so far. And the liability, if you want to look at it, or the thing that's not such a positive, he's like me. He's looking at it, he's aware, he's working on it. It may not be as fast as what we think it can be, but it'll catch up. And then that may end up someday actually being an asset. So,
but the great thing is he could use it to, if you reverse it and look at how he can utilize that, right? He can go into his editing software, and he can basically, because now he's not searching for the words, because he's basically telling you how to go step by step, he could easily have a conversation for an hour about showing you how to edit in a certain fashion or a way, or just maybe do one particular thing. Yeah. So because there's plenty of people just doing that. Plenty of people.
A lot. And I'm going to be doing that for some
I watch them.
time because, absolutely. So how you doing, Ian? I can never pronounce that name right. It's Ian, right?
Yes.
Ian. It's a great name, but I always forget how to pronounce it. Ian. I should know that, and I'll tell you that next week. I need a lot of improvement when it comes to live streaming, but yes, I guess the most important is consistency. And do you find that you are consistent and that's an asset for you, or are you just thinking that's something you should have? Of course, it is something you should have, but it's not an asset for everybody, of course. I get the feeling
consistent for everybody's different.
That's true. It's relative. That's true.
You know what I mean? So here's the thing that I can stress the most, and I think Jeff also agrees, is don't put the pressure on yourself more than it needs to be. Yeah. When you think about being consistent, do you mean once a week? Do you mean twice a month?
That's going to change
too. Once a month?
That threshold will change. So sometimes it might be once a week, once a month, and then you're like, hey, I can do this every day. And that will change. It's, I guess, when someone says I'm consistent, they've reconciled with the fact that they are okay at how timely they are right now.
Right.
You could easily turn around and say, I'm doing this 3 times a week. I'm very consistent. And the next guy's like, I'm only doing this 3 times a week. I'm not consistent. And so that just hammers home your point. It is very relative. So that's why. But I mean, it's still valid, because in the end,
it's valid.
Our journey is our own universe. So that doesn't matter how somebody else sees it. It really only matters for you. So if you see it as an asset, that is all that matters, is how you, the person, sees that. Steve is very nice here. I'm so good to meet him. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Cashew, for introducing me. And thank Cashew for introducing us to you, Steve. I may have to go for now, but we'll definitely watch the rest on replay. And I'll be sticking around for a while. Thank you, guys. You rock. Well, you rock too, Steve. So happy to see you, meet you, and that you stopped in and said something and became a part of the Bud family. Really appreciate that. Misha says she loves the list. I appreciate that. I like the list too. I like, how far can I go into this? I'm like, just throw out some ideas. But I think this is a great generation, generating, kind of cultivating idea. And I think it's plenty. We overthink things all the time. I overthink things all the time. That's not an asset, by the way.
This is definitely plenty, because there's you could do hours on each one. So that's for sure.
You could. That is so true. Let's see here.
But these are the majority of things that we all look at and say, this is difficult, or that's not difficult, or this is, so.
I like this affirmation of no pressure. Do not compare yourself to others in any way, because I'm new to this, and I've struggled with this, and in the last week or two, I've just let it go. It's not been easy, but I came to a point where I'm like, this extra burden, this anchor that I'm feeling, I've got so many things in the air. I'm working hard. It's not like I can't do no more. What's the point? of carrying the burden, right? But I think everybody's going to come to that. And I may feel it again next month. Maybe I'd shift, but right now I feel good because I'm just getting past that. There's no point. The process will take care of itself. You have to have a little faith in yourself and in the process. Go ahead, John.
And then I was just going to say, like, you and I are experiencing this full year-round streaming thing for the first time. Okay, so we have, 6 or 7 months in to the year, and now we're experiencing the holiday season. And so, is that going to change? Are there going to be less or more people? We pretty much think less people will be watching the streams in general, but it all depends. There's so many variables that we're taking in the information, we're taking in the analytics and trying to figure out how to effectively get our information out and what's important for that time. And also us talking about the inner and outer tech all the time. I think we have this little sliver of Black Friday where we got to come in and really point out to the community of what are the great deals right now that you should be looking at to improve. And so we might get into that and do even a separate stream, Jeff and I, showing you guys like, oh, these are 10 things that you should have on your list to maybe put that in the back of your Amazon. That would be a lot of fun. Look at it.
That would be a lot of fun. Count me in. I would actually really enjoy that because we're both looking.
I
and
actually
enjoy
did that last year.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's awesome.
Last year before I started streaming regular, like a year ago, I did that. And that was like one video. And I only did it on Facebook, Jeff. I did it on Facebook.
Really?
And it got hundreds of views, And
I'm excited for that. I
wear my live streaming.
I wear my Santa hat and everything. We'll get it all going. We're going to bring some new gear to you people that are looking for. Yeah, it's got to have it fun. Nick H is in the
what's up?
He's in the barn. He's in the llama barn. We can't keep saying the house. I don't like that. He's in the animal house. That didn't come out right. Yeah, what's up? He's so 1991.
Yeah. A lot of these people jumped into my stream on this weekend. I did a little surprise stream, and a few of them jumped on, and that was really nice.
It's very cool. I wasn't around. Cool I didn't even know you were going to stream, and he was like, "Oh, you streamed today," and I'm like, "Oh, no, it's fine." I went out. It was nice weather. I had to get out of the house. But Brian, very nice to meet you, sir. I got to run, but I will leave this window minimized so you get. That's always sweet.
That's nice.
It's very nice. I'm just like, oh, that's just. It's the little things, I'm telling you. Thank you all. Hope to catch you again. And we hope to catch you again, Brian. I hope you're well. And thank you so much for stopping and saying hi and just being a friend. That's
Thanks,
all.
Brian. That's
all that matters. That's a great energy, and we appreciate that.
Right.
Oh, boy, yes. Idea generating a robot, beep, boop, beep. Brian's always ahead of it. Yeah. And there is a way to do that, by the way. And so I am working on that. So I've got what's called an idea cultivator, and I'm using that with mind mapping as a way to use a skeleton to use story arc building. There is a story arc building, and make it very simple to try to use it to just plug in things to start creating bones around a script or a story for a particular thing. And it does work because you can just go start here, and you build along the way on the path. And it's not ready to show that to people yet, but I'm hoping that I can make that really work well and that people might find that interesting. But in a way, it becomes bebop boop.
Yeah, I've used some of that stuff, and it does really help because then it starts connecting dots for you, and then you see if they apply to what you're doing.
Boy, I accidentally, something just dropped. Oh, I have Top Chat on. So that's never good. So let me back it up here, guys.
Do that sometime.
Yes, J.A. Yep, you got to go. Thank you so much for stopping in. I saw you stopped in earlier and said something, and we always appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Saying hello. You have a wonderful evening, JH. Bug Dude 53. I saw Bug Dude the other day.
Bug Dude, what's up?
I think we were listening to some music, I believe. It's always good to see you. Hope you were well, Bug Dude. And Ian says, you and John's live streams are great, so crystal clear, techie, and your contents are very informative. You probably couldn't hit all the marks that we hope for right there. We hope to hit one of those. Right. So if we've hit more than one and that works for you, I really appreciate you saying so. I'm really, John's been doing a little bit more of the delivery of demos and doing these things. This is still a little bit new to me. And each week that I do it now, I'm finding myself a little more comfortable at doing those building blocks. So thank you for saying so.
Can I tell you, thoroughly impressed how smooth it was, by the way, Jeff, today?
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. Like, I don't think people realize how nerve-wracking it can be doing something on a demo to show other people in a live stream, right? Because a lot of times in the beginning, and you're just trying to get through, looking and everything functioning properly, and then you're going to go and show people, and you're like, oh, I hope I don't just delete everybody or do this or do that. But especially with the software we're using.
Yeah, because the chat goes down, and look, there was an audio incident at the beginning, and the problem is everything was set up. I rebooted. No big deal. But when you reboot with all this complicated browser setups that I had placed on 3 monitors, I had everything, and the vMix, not necessarily, you got to do the right timing. And then there's that issue with the streaming key, because if you reset this browser, then the streaming key is gone. You can't forget that. John has schooled me, and you see, I got it. It is tricky. And so while it's annoying not to have music out of the gate, it's also very gratifying to say, oh, we figured it out, and we're still having a good time, and you're not going to let us.
Just remember who it's most annoying to.
Me. Who?
That's it.
Oh,
that's it.
Yeah, and it's not that annoying. I just wanted to make sure. Once I knew I had a mic working, I figured we're going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Best tech of 2021 is a gimme.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. And Brian,
that's true, John. That's a great point, Brian.
I want to ask Brian, because he's really big into this A7 IV Sony, right? That just came out, and so I've been looking at it myself, and I'm just curious, what is Brian's favorite thing about overall of that new camera? I'm just going to ask him, see if he has an idea.
Yeah, I'd be curious what.
Because I have one.
What? You have a 4?
I have my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had a 4. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? You haven't been talking to me for a while. What happened there?
No.
Yeah, those A7, the A7 IV is $2,400, essentially $2,500, right? That's
yeah.
Yeah. If that's a little bit of a nugget. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get that. Look at that dark mode on there. That might be a little much on B&H.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, it nice. Pops. It kind of pops everything out kind of nice though, right? Let's take a look. I'll knock it off, and then it'll go here. But it really sets the content out, I suppose. It's kind of cool actually.
Yeah, especially when it's boxed in the white, so the camera really sticks out.
The camera really sticks out, and some of the other, like the buttons, like the purchase button, the pre-order button. Of course, that really. You
should hit that pre-order button.
Yeah, that's not what I need, bro. I need I might need a computer first, so we'll just kind of leave that out to go. Yeah, that's a gimme. And I see NavSim. How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, if
stopping by to say hi.
Hey, what's up, Rodrigo?
Rodrigo, it's so good to see Rodrigo.
Yeah, so if there's anybody else that has an opinion on it, they can go and drop that too. But I know a lot of people. Have different opinions. Brian's leaving like one of the best things out. I can't believe him.
I know.
So I pictured Brian.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I've got something else to talk about. So go ahead, finish your story.
I was just gonna say I pictured Brian saying 10-bit video, which he did. That was his first thing. But I'll get into a second. If you want to catch up, we can.
Yeah, no, I'm behind.
I'm going to tell him what I think mine is.
It was a question for chat, not a judgment. I may have missed that. I apologize.
Yeah.
Paper can't be hacked. I think there was a side conversation. I'm not going to get caught up into it, but I do see, excuse me, the 10-bit video, no record limits. Better color science, full-size HDMI. That's nice. Wow, full-size.
The full-size HDMI is
not the end of the world. Yeah,
right?
It really is in a way. Updated PC smartphone integration. Oh, you had me at 10-bit video.
Yeah, that's better. But it's also the no record limits was there already. So that was there.
That's true, yeah.
The better color science is true.
Yeah.
But the 10-bit video I thought would be most important for him. But how can he not have a touch screen where you can touch the menu? The menu works. It's not the typical Sony menu system. This is the updated menu system where you can actually have a flip out screen and you can touch the menus. How beautiful.
I want to
amazing.
It is true, and I agree. I want to roll back. I missed you, Samantha. I apologize.
Hi, Samantha.
I jumped ahead. Well, I didn't jump ahead. I think there's something with my chat. Hi, everyone, and you love the shirt. Thank you. This shirt, actually, it's just words, but it means, words are pretty powerful stuff, and it means a lot to me, and it's always nice. And then we saw somebody, Misha was like, I don't know, it's kind of dark. So you can see how words can really affect, and I like seeing people affected differently and then explaining why they're seeing that color differently than I see it. I think it's really interesting. Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate that so much. And I thank you for being patient, by the way, for that as well. I think this is what
no one cares.
This is what she was talking about. So, what's the notebook on the table? Is it an agenda to who's still using a paper agenda in 2021? So this little guy, this is not my main one, but this is one of two bullet journals or my journal book. And these are great because they've got I'm going to do a thing on bullet journaling one night. But what I like about these is you can put a lot of these little one-off topic ones in here, and you can put up to 5 of those with a standard size. That's my primary. This is where I put my daily notes. Now, this one's strictly for streaming. I have one that's for other day stuff that I have. It has its own notebooks in it. I try to keep those separate because I find when you start mixing them, it just gets a little disjointed. But bullet journaling is what got me, didn't get me into productivity, but it was one of the things that kind of settled me down. I really like the analog part of this. And then if I have to move that to Notion, which I do. So I'll sit with coffee in the morning, at night, whatever I'm doing, and I write out things, do my bullet journaling, which if anybody knows bullet journaling, what I love about it is it can be as complex or as simple as you want. There's no expectations. If you missed a few days, it doesn't matter. You can start back up. There's no punishment to it. And I need a system like that because I don't need something that lords over me and makes me feel less than. So I want to go through that. And there's a fantastic woman who started her own company who makes these leather binders custom. And I bought this one because John has the coffee stains on them. And then I have another one. It's green. Yeah. And so this really
that just shows you're at work. You're at work when you have coffee stains.
Exactly. And usually it means my wife is going to yell. And so this has been a really important thing. And I think to do things in analog is really helpful. And then have an ability to take it to something that is digital in whatever format works for you. But I believe in making things very simple and not be a struggle and be something that you feel like I got to retrofit it into this day. When you just don't feel it, don't do it. So I'm going to actually do a stream on that, or I'll do a quick intro into bullet journaling one night. I appreciate you asking. I forgot it was there, but I'm glad you saw it and said something about that. The hidden gem.
I remember a while back when you were talking to me, you were like, you should carry like a notebook around with you at work and keep it in your car because we were discussing the one day of how like something just pops into your head. And we've said this a few times, and then it could be a matter of a couple hours and you're like, I forgot exactly what that title was or what you could thought was a great video.
Yes,
or an
great idea, a great title, it's true.
Yeah. I've been using sticky notes at work. And I get them for free there. So when I have like some great things in my head come up, I write them down and I write them down and write them down, which is way better, Jeff, than what I was doing 6 months ago, which was nothing.
Look, it's an evolution. Look, pardon my French, but my brain is a dumbass. And I can't remember. Our brains really aren't made for these type of things. They're great creators, but they're terrible long-term storage containers. That doesn't mean you're not going to have long-term memories, but that's usually triggered by an emote. Something that's very meaningful. But remembering what the thumbnail was, I was in the shower and it was a killer thumbnail, and we've done it all. You get out 5 minutes later and you can't for the life of you remember. Now, you're not going to write it in the shower. Right. I hear you. But the point is, and so I do have a mini, like a really small field notes version of this that you could slide in your back pocket or wherever. And I use that as a catch-all. And of course I have Notion for the phone, which is my other catch-all as well. So, I didn't even read this. Ian says, paper agenda, we call it planner here in the Phils. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. So Brian doesn't really care if I can touch the menu, but I know that John,
which is crazy.
I would like to be able to touch it.
Because when you have that flip screen, you can do. Yeah, wait till he puts that camera up in front of him, and then he's going to wish. because when you're sitting here on a stream, what are you going to do? You're going to want to go behind and touch buttons? No way.
Yeah,
but he's like, no way is that camera
just,
for 2,500 sitting there.
He continues. John, I only don't care because I'm used to it. It's insane that it's a new feature. Should have been in the call camera. So, I mean, he doesn't care, but he does see the ridiculous. No, so he sees how nuts it is, right?
I think that is gonna put Sony into the next level, and then probably the new Alpha cameras are gonna start doing that. And then what's gonna stop them?
I don't know. I guess robots, AI. I don't know. Steve, yes, that didn't take long, so I'm back. That was probably 20 minutes ago, and I'm just now catching up, Steve. So you're probably gone again. I don't know what you were doing. I can't remember. It might have been churning butter. That seems to be a theme tonight, or a dancing monkey. But it doesn't matter as long as you stop in and say hi. Give us the cool sign, man. Love it. That's awesome. Yes.
Sometimes I feel like a dancing monkey.
So most crafters do Bujo, and that's this. If you don't know, that's short for bullet journaling, and it's a whole community. Yeah. It's basically something. It's like a simplified version of what they came up with when it's called getting things done. But this is a way not to feel locked in, because there's a lot of planners that will sell you a specific, here's Monday and here's what you should do here, and they box it all in, and you feel like this is something you can be as detailed or as simplified. I used to go in there and I'd put today's temperature was this is, I'd color it, and I do all these great, and there are some artists who do some amazing things daily in it. And then after a while, I realized what I want is the simple version, which is my 6 top things, a little bullet. Use the icons. There's a way to note how far in or what you got to do with that particular bullet, depending on what happened during the day, and some other things that I do. But I got to keep it moving. I don't really care to make it. That's just not me. I'm not very artistic that way. But there are some fantastic, very artsy bullet journals out there. It's incredible. Jim, how you doing, Jim? I saw Jim. I was in Craig's. I'm trying to remember Craig, Dr. Rob. They had a stream the other night, and they were playing some insane music. Loved it from the 80s. We were rocking out a little bit, and I really had a good time with that. It was good to see Jim. You would have loved the music. The music was insane. Big
what night was that? Do you remember?
It was probably last night. I think it was last night. I'm so mixed up on time right now that I think it was last night, but my brain is mush. Was it last night? I don't know. It was either Sunday or he'll tell me.
I know. I'm so
just
frustrated with how dark it is.
Yeah, by the way, don't get me started about the whole daylight savings. It's just going to be weeks of trying to get my feet under me about that. So it is deer season, so we're going on that route. It's a whole deal, man, to go catch a deer, and do the whole skinning and the whole, I have a father-in-law who does it, and he's always offering up stuff, and it's wonderful because it's like, I'm not going to sit out. I'm not a hunter, but I gladly will eat the whatever you want to give me.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that is. I would like a voice recorder for that. I'm not sure what that was.
Instead of bullet journaling, she wants like a voice recorder. Good idea. And okay. That's not a bad thought too.
Here's the thing. And that's the thing.
I can use my phone for that too.
Notion. So that's what I've been doing. Notion, I set up the same thing, a little bullet journal thing, and I just punch.
I forgot about Notion.
And then I say, this is the best title ever, and I tell what the title is, and it's in. Yeah, I know you have. There hasn't been time. If we had gotten into Notion earlier, we both would have drowned in the short end of the pool, the shallow end. We just weren't ready for it. But I feel like things are picking up pace, and we're getting more. We keep pushing. Once we're talking about bullet journaling, I think we're moving in the right direction.
Right.
If you want to, you can. If not, I'm happy. Let's just all rewind and start all over again. I'm just kidding. You don't need to, but I always appreciate the thoughts. Ian says, do you guys use a shared Google Calendar to put all your topic schedules? Well, that's a very interesting question, John. How would we manage?
I'm tired of sharing stuff with Jeff.
Well, actually, we don't do a shared Google Calendar as yet.
I know, Jeff. I know the answer. Okay, and the answer is here. It is, Ian. Ready? Notion.
Well, here's the thing.
Was I right, Jeff?
You're right, but you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I kind of kept up your end of the bargain, but it was something I wanted to do, and it's not necessarily. So we are in Notion, which is a productivity app. It's a wonderful collab app. If you've not used it, I do want to. I love it, and I've used all the apps along my time as a web developer, trying to manage clients and everything. So I get it, and I still say this guy, if I had to pick one, it's going to be this. But Notion is fantastic. And so John and I created John and I a Notion area page with the database and everything. And we log all of our live streams recorded to the channel, the date, the thumbnail, if it's completed or not, when's it's coming up. Yeah, I do it. And I tell John how many we've done, but he appreciates it. So that's enough for me.
So this is just a little tip of the iceberg really of what I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. So first I want people to, understand, like, if you can get into bullet journaling, right, and utilize that, and then you can get these people starting with that, and then you can start doing some Notion stuff, Jeff, where you're transitioning them into Notion from there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys is if you can get yourself wrapped around some of this information, it is I don't even know where to begin. I get tongue tied because like Jeff, he'll put the thumbnail in there. He'll put what we talked about. And he'll even put like links of things that we talked about. And he's developing this whole thing of all these links. So if you were doing a live stream like this, he could literally go and grab the links that we talk about the most often and drop them in there himself really fast. And so these are things that I'm trying to do because it just makes our streams so much more effective. Now, granted, Cashew's awesome and she'll drop a link, or friends of us will drop a link about something. But if we're particularly looking for something, we should be able to have those things at our fingertips.
Well, let's do a really fast one because we'll save this. But this is Notion, and there's so much to this. This is my content I have all over here. I'm not going to get into what all this is right now. We're working on a bunch of things so I can water it down into very simple things that people can learn and do, because showing people complex things that are really easy is not fair to them and doesn't help anybody. So I won't go down that path. But let's just say John and I have our own live stream area, okay? Our own live stream page, and it's based on databases. So we have a database here, and it has the show numbers. And of course, we didn't have tonight set up. But you can see our show dates are all in here, and our show titles. And then if you scoot across, you'll see obviously which channel did it, maybe the genre of that. The thumbnails are all here in case you want to take a peek at them. There's a thumbnail. And then the link to the video to check if you want to go watch that video. Discoverable, and things like that. So you can open up each page, of course, and take a look deeper into that information and leave more notes. If you want to develop that stream, that is how you would do it. You would have that stream have its own page, and then you would be able to go in there and then set up notes, any research you're doing for that stream that you can leave up in dark mode as you're doing your stream to help guide you how you want. So that's how I'm doing it.
Need he say more? Do you understand how much this will help you if you can start wrapping your brain around these types of things? Because I struggle with this. And when Jeff says, I don't want to go and show you too much, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that when he goes into this stuff, it's overwhelming for me. And so when I talk about the things I know, they're overwhelming for other people. But when he goes into this, it is a big task for me to take under. And just the bullet journaling myself would be a huge improvement in general. So
I mean, these tools don't help you if they're overwhelming. So I use tools, that are 99% free because there's no point not to. All of these tools are free.
Right.
And what I always try to find are the most powerful, simple tools, and then try to water that down. Now, what I'm working on are mind mappings. I want an A to Z process for me and something I can explain to people, and then they can pick and choose what might work for them. So I might do an analog journaling, develop some ideas, and then I would move these to idea storage in my Notion to leave as ideas to cultivate as a page, research, and then I would activate that as a live stream I'm going to do. And then I could, if I'm doing videos the same way, recorded videos, I have a different area for that. And then you would have what we have a script builder, and we have a research page within that page and all these things. But it's simple. And when someone shows it to you, but there's no point in me coming at you and going, blah, like I'm doing kind of now, and trying to say you're going to understand it, it's going to be good for you. It's not. I want to start from ground zero. So I'm going to do a series where I start analog and do a little bit of bullet journal option. And I'm going to show how I move that simple to a simple storage in Notion, and then all those kind of things, even mind maps if you want. But until it's an A to Z from an idea generation to you're kicking out either your live stream or your video out to Facebook, to YouTube, and you're done, and you're clicking, you're done with that, and you're completed. So, yeah.
Even on and I know you're really deep into these thoughts, right? So we talk about these things that you're very versed at, and even as we move forward, when we get to the point where 5,000, 10,000 subscribers, right?
Right.
It will happen. And we need the landing page, right?
Right.
And we have that landing page. And then we start discussing something with someone that comes in to reach out to us, right?
Yes.
And so you having that database with all that information, you could be like, listen, I got a video for that, and I'm going to send you that video along. Now, how professional is that for you to be able to go, okay, I could just go drop this video link right in for this person to go check these 3 things that we discussed these things for them, right?
Yeah.
And then also it supports everything we're saying. So we're not saying things doubled, and they can pause it, they can stop it, and they can watch it. And we are discussing even further down the road of having discussions with people in vMix, recording it and sending that recording to those people. So when we get to that point, Jeff, we're going to blow people's minds of what we're going to be doing all at once to be able to give, you know,
I
which
agree.
is much more than...
Oh, it'll be a big wide net of content. And Abels, thank you. I'm going to do it, and I appreciate that. I'll make sure that I give. So I'm not going to show you how I do it, but just for John's point, I have what's called a Tools for Fools, and all this is my page in Notion. Okay, I call it Tools for Fools. So I have a page for apps and software, and I manage that here. And so I don't have a lot really. I just started that page, but all the stuff that I have bought, to John's point. Everything that I have bought, from lenses to cameras to all these mic stands, so they all have the thumbnails in here, what they are, when I bought it, the cost, what type of category, type, okay, and then even things like, pardon me here if I try to move this. This is
Jeff. These people have no idea how deep you're into this stuff, and
I know. That's okay. Sometimes you just need to be shown, and it either resonates with you or it doesn't. But you can see at the bottom. How much money it's calculating I've spent. That is my wife on? She's not on, is she? Is she on? Yeah, exactly. We keep moving. Let me scoot over to the right. So it'll have a link to my. What I like is, have you ever done this thing where you're like, I want to get to my receipt, so I've added all my receipts right to Amazon or B&H. Yeah. I also have vendors set up, so if I want to, each vendor, I can go to B&H. And it will tell me anything that was bought just through B&H under their equipment. So what John is saying is true. It's a database, and the relational databases, which are not hard. You don't have to build them. They exist for you to use, and they're so simple. But you got to take your time. You have to show people really small steps. But sometimes what you got to do is just show people what it can do and the vastness of it. But you have to come back and then say, if this resonates with you, but it's just nice to be able to get links. If somebody says, I need to know where my memory card went, I can open that up in 2 seconds, or I can just go into the page and I can get more details.
I just love it that you're flexing some of this information because I didn't even show you guys. I'm always the guy that's the tech stuff. And
did I have it up
boom.
When I was showing, or did I not have it up?
No, yeah, we saw everything.
Okay, good. All of a sudden I'm like, you're a dummy. Okay, good. So yeah, I agree. I thank you. I'm not trying to flex that way, but I do hope that I'm not trying to I hope people don't get that vibe.
No, I don't mean that in a way, but listen.
Okay, I'm just excited about it.
Dude, this is why we sit down and we talk after these shows for like 2 hours sometimes, right? Sometimes longer. I basically have to say, Jeff, I got to go to bed.
I know. I got to go to bed. An hour later, I got to go to bed. He spews a lot of this great information. And then this is why him and I, thank you.
We're just cultivating this stuff. And it's really going to just cultivate, and we're going to just pull in more and more things and more people. And I hope that the people start taking the time and listening, because we're going to take this ride from the beginning. I mean, you have to realize, and I'll say it again because there's a lot of new people here. You and I are starting this streaming journey, and it's only started 6 months ago. another 6 months before that, I never even had a channel. It's only been about a year.
I didn't know you existed
14 months or something.
till April. Then I found you.
We didn't even meet each other till April 1st.
Remember what I said? I said, you had me at hello. Remember that?
Yeah. You know. And I was like, this dude's creepy.
Yeah. And yet here he is. So you don't judge him. Lakita and Corey, how are you doing? So you're never late to our party. You are the party. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah.
Ian says, I know I haven't been using Notion, but I'll keep that in mind. I've been talking about it for a while, but there's a right time to do things, and I didn't want to get over my skis and do the injustice of it. I want to do things that are real solutions for people. I don't want to talk at you about gobbledygook. There are ways. I am building all of Notion like Thomas Frank did, Ali Abdaal, very big, productive people. And a lot of the ideas I glean from them, and they want you to take from them. But it's all based on setting up for live streaming and doing video recording, planning. And so this is really a database for all that. I have created I've created lesson plans for my drums in here that are detailed. It goes on. I've created my own personal wiki. So there goes on, but it all supports the channel. It all supports live streaming and doing what we're trying to do in creativity. But it takes a long time to take that monster and boil that down into something that I can use simply and it makes sense to other people. Yeah. And I appreciate the patience on that. I'm looking forward to that journey with all of you. Wow, that's so great.
So if you guys don't get if you don't get the idea of why you should be subscribed to both of us, then you're definitely going to be missing out. So
yeah, I mean, and we send out candy and Christmas cards to everybody individually, so you get 2 cards in the mail. Everyone should get.
No one does a better Halloween stream week. So
I think we nailed it. I'm not usually a patter. Can I just say how much I love that? That was so much fun, and we're gonna do.
I look back at it a couple times. I had some fun.
Such a small little idea.
Kombucha.
It's much fun.
Kim got her coffee cup, and then Brian's should be there. I thought would be there today, so he should.
That's fantastic.
Should be there, really soon.
Mommy says, "Yeah, that's an awesome plan. Excited for that. I'm excited for that too. I hope that you jump in and I can make this accessible for everybody. And I will try to work this out so it's a playlist and that will build on itself, so it's not too much out of a line. I'm excited for that." Roxanne says, "How much time did you spend from generating that idea, designing the framework, and implementing it?" I'm going to guess that's from the live streaming piece that I showed. Here's the thing. I've been, I spent a year in computer science in college. I've been building my own computers. I've been a web developer and doing network solutions for over 20 years on the side and building businesses within that. I actually have quite a love affair with, SQL databases, Postgres databases, all that stuff. I love data management, and that's the productivity part of me, because if you control data, you can open up all sorts of time and power. Data is gold. If you get your data structured in the right way, it will work for you like money in a market.
It's a weapon.
It's a weapon, and it is, if you are wanting to put yourself up and move into a different level of what we're doing in this or other things, that kind of control of the data is what's going to set you apart. I promise you.
And this is why I dummy it down, Jeff, to like that thought of us like just running a stream and having all these links to just throw in there, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me move my desk a little.
I'm laughing. That is really funny. He's so right. It does. I'm laughing at that. That's really funny. It looks like it runs into my room.
I know.
That's a good catch, bro.
I'm gonna put my hand in your room.
Massive. Don't. That's very uncomfortable. I feel stranger danger.
But
mind blown. That's
funny. I think this data is so important and at your fingertips, and is going to make us so much more effective live. It's going to be so much more effective with getting our video work done. So people, they might say like, you want to improve. So you want to look back and say, what have I done better in the last 6 months, in the last 2 months with these things? And if you're just stagnant and not moving forward, it's not going to help your overall productivity and your growth on YouTube. Don't be happy where you are, and don't overthink things, and don't dive into deep with multiple things all the time.
I think a lot of people, there are two
to
things that happen in life when we're doing these kind of things, whether you're starting a business or you're starting YouTube and trying to manage all this. There's so much data. I don't care if it's your tools. I don't care if it's your live streaming, it's what you've done. And yes, the live stream recording might seem silly, but at some point, John and I are going to have to stay on top of that and pre-plan those. Now, what I didn't show you is I have a sub-page of that, and it's nothing but a table full of ideas that we set up as germination. So those are just idea buds or idea drops or dumps. So there is about 100 of them there. So over time, instead of letting those linger somewhere, we have created all those. And all I have to do is hit a checkbox that says, we're ready to go with that one, run it, put a date on it, and then start developing it. So if you control all that, otherwise when people say they're overwhelmed, it's the data. Where's my link to what I bought? I don't know if I bought that at Amazon or at B&H. I need to look that up. Or what did I buy? What was the brand? Or all these things. It just goes on and on and on and on. And Notion to me, why I didn't use Obsidian? I looked at it. Notion there are some deal breakers for me. It has to be free. It has to be an amazing collab. It has to have data relational tables that I really like. There were some other things. There's some other extensions that I haven't shown that I'm going to show people that I really like, because if I can't, by the way, be on a phone or a desktop and I hit one extension and say, send that to one of my tables so I can look at it later and develop that, it's no go for me. So how often are we on a site, a desktop or on the phone, and we're like, oh, I'd really like to move that to an idea table, or I'd like to move that to my wiki or wherever. I have a general drop called gathering drops. And so if I can't move an idea or a thought or like, oh, I might want to look into that later into my database with one click onto an extension, I'm not using it, because we all get lost into trying to save it. We're sending it to ourselves, putting it in our emails. We can't find it later. We're trying to write it down, send it. Don't, my wife. That
sounds like me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to send you that camera link to my wife in Messenger, but I wanted to be able to find it later. That shit happened. Sorry. And so, I'm getting really worked up about it. But, I'm like a kid who can't have a cookie.
But I was just saying, that sounds like me.
I'm a problem solver, and I want people to not be stressed. I want people to smooth out their process, and then you can get into batch processing when you have control of the process, and that's when you hit a little bit of nirvana in all of this stuff. It's so organized. It's getting there. I thought I could get into this quicker because I had suffered a grasp of databasing, but there's a lot going on. And then I didn't know as much about live streaming and video production processes when I got into this. And then I realized, I want to step back and simplify this. Too much of the stuff that is out there right now is too complex, and I think people are flexing. And it's annoying to me. I don't really care about that at all. April was like 10 years ago. You know what? I actually had to think to myself today, was it this past April or was it the year before? For some reason in my mind, I couldn't fathom that you and I have only known each other like 7-8 months. It was just so weird to me, crazy. Right? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, and one of the biggest things, right, is when we first met each other.
Data's where
in the first month, we were like, oh, you have that too? You bought that too? You bought that? So we were buying very similar things. And then about 5 months go by and we're streaming together all the time. Right. And then we find out that we have the same anniversary date.
She's like, I got my anniversary in 2 days. Literally telling me, and I'm like sitting there going, okay. And then I thought, John, you're just messing with me. And he's like, what? I'm like, same anniversary. And it turns out we got married on the same day. So that's weird. And I had asked my wife, do you have a husband in Pennsylvania or something? Like, is there something weird going on I don't know about? So
that was crazy.
I wanted to get back to it. Data is where it's at. Data is gold. It's not quite crypto, but it's still great stuff. So Rodrigo says, I have so many scattered data and assets throughout my device. It is really hard to find. It is. And one of my degrees was productions operations, and everything about manufacturing is about efficiency, right? Job shop setups and efficiencies of scale and economies of scale. And I love that stuff. That's why it was something I was really interested in. And so ever since I got out, when I started my llama farm, which you think, you're just out there milking llamas. The truth is not. I was in charge of setting up finance at 24, trying to figure out how to college. Just told my parents, I'm not going to go to New York to work in the job in the car industry, I'm going to start a llama farm. And so
I'm going to Peru.
I'm good for. I can have the money for Peru. I'd like scavenged, and we got a couple of llamas. And then I realized we need a financial software, and we had to need 48K modem at the time. And what is QuickBooks? And Microsoft Access created a database because there were no herd management softwares. I had to create my own. On and on, right? Do our own marketing. So you had to create your own ads for the
herd
print
management.
So herd management. So you have to, when you're doing, YouTube is no different than any other entrepreneur freelance job. You have to find extreme economies of scale in here and efficiencies in order to not burn yourself out or to make yourself feel overwhelmed. And you know what? The tools exist, and it's not hard to do. We just got to get the tools out there to our people, John, and we are going to do it.
Love it. Love
We
the
are
passion.
going to do it. I like this. This is we need a digital handshake device. That would be cool. They have a kissing one. Oh, it's kind of weird, but
Whoa, pal. Whoa.
That you had me at hello memory, maybe a false memory. It was not. Although John being extremely disdained by it, just kind of, I'm just gonna step through it. Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. Get off my lawn, sir. Step away from my front door.
Get off my front lawn.
Yeah, I tried to ick you out, I did the pinky thing, I did the llama and the stream buddies, and I was just trying to find ways to get you out of here. And at first, you were so uncomfortable. You were just like, and now some of it's just you're playing, but you've really come you've evolved in your way too, right? I mean, you've kind of I'm okay with the journey. I like this. I love the stream bud germation idea with our community. I love how you've been open-armed about those.
You know what it is? It's really hard, right? Because a lot of you guys don't know this. I started streaming by myself, and I have a thought process of how I wanted to come across and how I want to be. And Jeff is his own person, and I wanted to come across definitely somewhat professional on the way we stream and how we come about. And but then I kind of let go a little bit, and Jeff and I talked about this is we were really shocked because we were so new at this. We thought that we had to be a specific way, and then we learned that people just like showing up and chatting and having discussions, drop a few nuggets, follow the chat, and just enjoy the time. And that's been going much further than we ever thought. Yep. And so if we can keep on doing this and growing the community the way we are, where it's fun, plus we're learning some stuff, and we're making friendships here, and we're supporting each other, then that's even better. I like that the most. And with the crew that's been showing up here for the last 6 weeks or so, where they come in and they take in the knowledge and then they're using this knowledge and moving forward, I'm blown away by it, because I'm going to tell you right now, I've had our fair share of people just coming in and staying for 5 minutes and leaving. And they're not anything about supporting the channel. They're about just meeting more streamers and getting subscribers. And I just feel that some of those people are looking for answers about their own stuff. Right. And they can't get out of their own way, because if they would have stopped here and been part of what was going on, they would have learned so much more, because you have people that are literally in front of you by a tiny bit, showing you the way and giving you these answers, and you threw them away.
Yeah.
But
and I'm blown away. We've had the people that have been around now for so long. It seems like forever and a day ago. We have no weak links in our chats, and it's been so great lately. I don't know what to say. And so it's just been great questions, great fodder,
comments,
support for each other and us. And I know other channels have it. They talk about it because it's important. But you and I are the only ones who coined StreamBud, and it's unfortunately StreamBuddy.com is about $14,000. Somebody owns it, but you know what? There's other ways to get around that. J&J StreamBuds, for example, .com does exist, so we might do something. Because John and I have some ideas, and I am a web guy who can. I'm also going to annoy you guys by teaching you guys how to do a free website with some of the best software with WordPress. If you want to know how to do it well, do it easy, do it fast through a little GUI graphical developer called Elementor. And I'm working on that with my friend up in Canada, my French friend, Jeff, another Jeff. And it's when you teach people that and you show them how easy it is to have their own site and then to be able to offload over to that more information for your users and develop that value and send that and funnel it for yourself.
Yeah.
It's just so powerful. And I don't want $1 for it. I just want to help people learn how to do it. And so that's another thing with A to Z. I'm going to show people how to do that, from getting a domain name all the way to e-commerce.
If you want to show thanks to us, it's by being here in the stream and by hitting the like buttons and supporting us that way. That's the best way that you can support us.
Yeah, I agree. That's the currency. Be around. That tells us that we're doing something right. And if you don't, then don't. And then wait until we do. That's fair too. I wanted to say, blind guy, my wife said, I've been afraid of handshakes for years. Finally, they're fading from I kind of missed the handshakes on some level, but at the same time, they've gotten real awkward. Beyond the COVID thing, even before COVID, everybody was coming at you with these different handshakes now. And so now as musicians, we all kind of did our thing, man. You know, as musicians, we always had the same hug and blah, 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 you know. But I mean, I try to do that something to my accountant. He's like, whoa, bro, just, you know, I got a suit on, you know. But you know, nowadays it's all like, hey, what's up? You know, we're kind of doing that elbow thing. And so right now that decision point's been taken out of Rodrigo. This is a wonderful thing that you just said. You became more comfortable, John, but no less professional. Yes. And I think...
Yeah, thank you, Rodrigo.
I think professionalism isn't comfortable. That means it's authentic. And it's authentic with you. You've never put on false airs, and you won't do something you don't like. No. But I also think there is something in you that a lot of people didn't see in April. And over time, we both have found different things about ourselves along the way with each other.
Oh, yeah. Our real personalities come out more and more. But, I think that's just a matter of getting used to doing the live streams. And, having great people like Darlene and Blind Guy and Cashew and Rodrigo's Nav Simmer. And I was just saying the last 6 weeks have been just... the best of the best, and
the energy's been.
We're moving forward with it.
Yeah, and we have so many ideas, and it's so hard because you just want to get in there and do all these ideas. And in the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to see myself nibble around those edges and start to put myself out there a little bit more. I will be doing some solo streams to take out these ideas on kind of a sandbox thing to build with you guys on very short streams. And then John and I will maybe do some weekend ones here and there. That would be a lot of fun as well. Everybody's searching you. You guys have answers. Thank goodness. This is from Laquita and Corey. You are an actual resources.
Thank you so much.
That I'm going to put up on Yelp. Thank you extremely. And I want to say, Vinny, you know,
Stream Bros.
Here's a person who has no skin in the game. Vinny, but he's not a YouTuber, right? So he's here to support, and the value of Vinny coming into these streams, being cordial, giving us some, and I say laughs. I'm not talking about clown. I'm talking about like solid, bring the energy, humor. They're great, and you can't. I never take that for granted. I hope he understands that we joke around, but you don't have to have a channel to be a part of what this is, and these people are all part of what I have the new overlay tonight. And I said in there, Stream Buds. Did you catch that? John and J.A. Stream Buds. And I'm either not getting I have a new, I showed you this. I have a new sub alert. I sent that to you the other day. I must not be getting new subs, or it's not tied together. Should I try to play it off of Stream Elements real quick and see just so people can see?
You could fire it off and emulate it. Yeah.
Let me try it real quick.
Yeah.
See if it comes up.
Real quick, I would just wanted to say, Vinny, though, Vinny is into this maple sugar making, right? Not maple sugar, maple syrup making. He's got this whole facility, and you never know what's in Vinny's thoughts.
I'm telling you, it's made
making
for
videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you don't know what's around the corner for everybody. Everybody's here to support, but if we conjure up some ideas for them to be involved with something themselves, you never know where things can go.
You absolutely don't. All right, so let me hurry up, Stream Elements. People are waiting.
I would have never thought I'd be here.
No.
We talked about it, but
turn that off.
I would have never thought it would be as great as it is at this point. So I'm really happy with it.
I'm going to bring up, while that's coming up, I'll bring up some more, some chat because you guys were saying some lovely things. Darlene says, just learned Jeff is a data guy, not just a llama-loving drummer. You know, I had a conversation recently from a relative, and we started getting into our background. And also you and I recently had a discussion about just kind of looking back in our lives. And I'm like, my life is weird. Like, I don't know what to make of it. Sometimes I think I should have done so much more this and that, but you can't change anything. So there's no point lamenting it. And I don't, but it is weird. The life trajectory of going in, and how do you explain it to people? Oh, what have you done? What have you done? Llamas. I owned a flower shop for a while. A musician for 20 years. I have had a web company called Q2 Technology, and then drummer for 20 years. I don't know. I like to get involved in things like you. And why can't I get to my stream elements? Of course, it's always when you want to like make things happen. And it's like, oh, here it is. Okay. It's been an odd twist.
We both have had different. Yeah, we both had different kind of.
A lot of people can say that, and a lot of people can, I suppose. And there's no right or wrong.
Sure, that's true.
It's just what it is. I just sometimes, when you say that, Darlene, I'm sometimes just like, wow, you're right. That is such a weird scenario. All right, so I'm going to fire off an emulate here. Let's see if the music even plays. I don't know. Let's check it out. Here we go.
That's awesome.
So I got the llama in there. I got my little dancers and the funky music.
And so I saw him do this, and then automatically he showed me, he sent me a video, and I was like, okay, I guess I got to upgrade my subscriber now.
We're like Apple and Windows. We just can't let it go. We're like, oh, that's fine, but I'm going to do one better.
But the great thing is that we did this that was part of the stream on Thursday. And on Thursday, we showed people how to do that. And then automatically you went in and made this. And it just goes to show, like, you can actually do this in minutes. Minutes, you'll be done. Everything's minutes if you got the time. But you can literally do it in 10 minutes.
Rodrigo, I hear you. I only say this. I have 50 sites on my server. And in 10 years, I've not been hit by one bot. Because the truth of it is, there are ways to deal with that. But most people don't know how. And it's very simple. One way, another problem is people start adding in plugins they shouldn't, kind of like clicking on links they should. So it is a little bit of a thing, but you want to use as few plugins as you can. And with Elementor, you can pretty much use about 1 or maybe 5 total, depending on what you want to do, and keep it very simple, keep the overhead. And it also matters where a lot of people use GoDaddy, which is nothing but a gambling, and sadly it's an adult site. I mean, so you have a lot of shared servers. They share everybody for the $2 a month. That's why it's so cheap. And then you have a lot of problems with a malware running through the servers from other people's sites. So there are ways to deal with that, though. I do feel you. That is a problem. But it's also very easy to deal with if you know how or somebody can help you out. So I wouldn't let that discourage you people. But if you've had bad experience, then usually that works out. I have nothing against Squarespace or some of these other Wix, but they're very limiting. Your whole data now is in their hands. You can't move that site. And it's very difficult sometimes to get some of the things you want out of there. It's a little bit limiting on also design. So it just depends on what you want, how much power you want out of it. But for some people, for a single page site, I'm like, just do Wix. You know what I mean? There's no point. But if you're doing a site and you're going a little bit deeper into the funneling aspect, you don't want to be on Wix or Square. I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now. It just depends on what your goals are. Again, it's like everything else we do here. There's no right or wrong answer. You're right, that can be a problem. I'm right that it's fixable. But it doesn't mean that WordPress is for you either. And I do appreciate you dropping that information on there. Jim says, I still shake with people. I know their hands, not me. I know their hands, not me shaking. Right. I'm with you on that too. I still do. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that, but I understand why people are a little bit. Jim also says, I wouldn't have time to do a live stream. I use the live stream on YouTube to record things in my house. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that. So gotcha. I went into Jim. Jim had I believe he had the speakers. Pretty heady stuff. that he was doing, and he's got a really cool video. If you ever want to check that out, head over to his stream. It's really cool. It's a little bit above my head, but pretty cool hobby. Roxanne says, do you think for those of us who cannot put a website out there, it's not so much about the tech, but the copywriting message that we want to share? Well, when you say you can't put a website out there, I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe you're saying you can't because of the copywriting message, so it's not about the tech. So it's about the message and the copywriting you want to share. That gets
but that
tricky.
comes from the person.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately that comes from you. So if it's not original content,
right,
and you're going to push it through a website, you're right. That can be tricky. It can be tricky on YouTube too. You can get away with it for quite a while, and a lot of people will leave you alone. I want to have a discussion with you about that because it's very interesting. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I mean, if you're asking me if I think that's a reason why people wouldn't have a website, absolutely. I totally get that. There are a lot of reasons why people wouldn't have a website. I will say this, and somebody's been down this road and saved a lot of people from themselves. Facebook and social media is great. It should not be the hub of your life. If you have something that's important to you as a product or entertainment or information or value, and you're putting it out there in social media, you really need to hub that at somewhere in a central point, because ultimately things go weird with social media one way or the other. You may not see it coming. It's happened so often, and then people are just like, whoa, what's going on? So, it's fine. Again, it just comes down to how much control you want on things and how much you might worry about things happening down the road with certain platforms. Let's see what's going on here. You see anything I need to hit here? Streams from the Sugar Shack. I like it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking a little bit. I was like, I don't know why. I was just in that mood. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to put up the typical. I don't hate that. I mean, everything I do is a little bit off center. Even my overlays, I try to do something a little bit different with my intros. So I hope people enjoyed it. I mean, that's all this is about. It's enjoying it. I mean, someday I'll get a.
Yeah. I'm going to be visiting the Sugar Shack soon, by the way. No, seriously. He goes, it's that season right now.
It is. The Sugar Shack. Oh, he's talking about I was thinking about something else. I'm sorry, the music. He's talking about the syrup. Man, my father-in-law did that out of his trees in a bag, and I could not believe how intense how much work you have to get to boil all that down into something. It's a lot of work. It's really, you have to really enjoy.
40 gallons of boiling to 1 gallon of syrup.
I'm sorry, I misread that. That's on me. Jim says being a drummer is hard work besides having the talent to play them. It is hard work. I guess anything you do in life is hard if you want to do it right. But most people, it's like the websites. If you don't want to be great at drumming, you can pick up a cajon or a conga and sit there and play, and you're ready to go right out of the box, and that's fun. I like doing hand drumming circles.
We all make our own choices.
We all do. It can be, anything you do right is tough. Go watch Whiplash. That was an interesting movie. Did you see that movie, Whiplash? The drummer?
No.
Check it out. There's an ending to that movie that is mind-blowing in a way. Like how they shot it, just what they did, how they ended it. The last scene of Whiplash, and it's about a drummer who goes and wants to be a part of this really high-end, a big band. And the instructor is just brutally abusive in a way, and demanding. I've been there, and not to that degree, but certainly some pretty aggressive. I mean, coaches look blushing, But it's a great movie. Maple syrup is a lot of work. 10 gallons of syrup boiled down to 1 quart, and that's why when my niece would come over, and she would have pancakes, and she would sit there and just drop half of the bottle onto 1 pancake and then not eat half the pancake, and all the syrup was there. I went out and bought like Aunt Jemima or whatever and just said, or Log Cabin, and said, this is for you and the rest of it's for the adults. You don't get to eat any of that stuff. Oh, Crassbion says, last question for me. Do you feel lazy sometimes when you stream? How do you lift each other's energy or boost other people's energy?
Should we show them, Jeff?
Sure, let's do it.
That's one way.
We do that right out. We get out of the shower and we do that right away. I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah, and then the photo shoot, right? You got to get ready. Sometimes you just got to get a little bit of a photo shoot going, and
this is good for
spice it
limbering
up.
up.
So we do. So a couple photo shoots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll get
Let's
you
do
going.
it again, right?
All right. Me?
That's it.
You going for the whole like
Okay.
tough guy. And I went for the I don't know what I was doing. You know what? I feel you, and it's like I'll tell you what. I think people don't get it. And I was researching XLR. Live streaming is live performance. Okay, it is no different than anything else people do in live performing. You are no different than a singer or a musician going on stage, and that energy and that deal. Now imagine doing it, 5 times a day sometimes, or not 5, a couple times a day, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week for months and months and months. You wonder why these people, I know why, because I have friends who end up using substances to get them through because it's tiresome, and to fake that is really difficult, and sometimes you can't fake it, so you go to some things to cheat. But the problem is then you can't sleep, and then you get into an Elvis Presley cycle where you need an upper, you need a downer, and the next thing you do, you're dying of a heart attack.
And then you're driving to the 7-Eleven with no clothes on, and it doesn't end well with the Slurpee in your lap. It
so
feels weird.
The takeaway I is, we don't want to end up like Elvis. I don't know how he got into that deep into the ocean. My point is, it is tough, and with live stream, what's beautiful about it, it's live, it's shared in the moment, and it's a risk factor. When someone's live performing, there's a risk factor. You appreciate not that they crash, you appreciate that they succeeded, and so that's an enjoyment of that. But it is difficult with real life and sleep and whatever things are going on. You're not going to be good all the time, and you know what you got to do. This happened to me a couple weeks ago on a Tuesday. First thing you say is, it's okay. This is not my best night, before you go on. And you just acknowledge that you just don't have it. And then you just got to go on. And often it just then comes. Then it often it builds because you've let that out of your system and you're not trying to force something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. But you're talking to two guys that have done multiple streams for 3 hours at a time. I mean, we've done streams for 3 and 4 hours at a time. And so I get what she's saying, but I think it's with both of us is we run off each other's banter, right? A lot of times. Yeah. And so have fun with each other. She's usually doing her streams with Tracy. So it's Tracy and Ian. So don't be afraid to just have a little bit of fun with each other, talking about things and being light. And enjoy your chat of the people saying anything in there, and you'll get used to it because you're new at it. It will come together for you.
What I like the success here, Ian, is that you're aware of it, and you were brave enough to ask that question out loud. But I would say all of what John is saying, there are tricks, there are ways. I will say this: I had a little issue tonight. That happens. I've had them here and there. We will work them out. But you do need to create a process that smooths this out, and you have some consistency in the process as much as you can leading up to streams. Take that overhead out of your mind because stuff will go down, and then there's that headache on top of being tired. But you'll find your path. When I do gigs, I have a 1 drink. I do a pretty stiff rum and Coke before I go on. If I do any more than that, that's not probably good. I don't eat. Within 6 hours before I go on and play. I don't want to feel any of that effect. So we all have something, right? I'll get to Nav here. Rodrigo says, yeah, it's true. The plugins that take the most hit are the theme ones because they have access to almost everything within every page. It's safe still, but it needs to be, there are some themes. See, this is the thing. I use a platform stack that is tried and true. I won't use anything that isn't absolutely lock-clad. So, for example, for my themes, I use Astra. Brilliant, free, lock-clad. They have paid version, don't need it. And then for the builder, I use Elementor, same thing. And so you are not going to get hijacked behind the doors on those things. You can build your whole site on that. And then it's usually the little off-site plugins that people get and they don't understand, they don't look, they don't see how bad they are. They don't see they haven't been updated in 4 years. And then people don't keep their word. There are a lot of things. But if you set up a process and some automations, things stay in queue. And then the other thing, people don't create backups. They don't have a backup plan. So if something goes sideways, they immediately just hit go and it pushes up what was saved from a staging or dev site, overwrites the problem. You're up in 3 seconds. I can save anybody already in 2 minutes. It's out there. It's simple. It's free. So it just depends, though, if that's something you want to learn. But there are people who want their own sites. And those are the people I'm speaking to. If there are people who don't want to go down that thread, respect. Then I have other answers for you, like Wix or Square or whatever builders. Fantastic. But speaking to those that want that, there's a better way out there. We can get you into that way. That is the plan. Laquita, Corey says, I have Wix and switching over to Salesforce-based site. Salesforce is great. They have like an all-in-one deal. There's limitations on the looks and stuff, but that's just tying into a funnel and a marketing flow, and they're great. So, you can't go wrong with something like that. That's another thing. A lot of those have picked up. They do the all-in-one funneling, mail marketing, collection of stuff. It's actually really good. I'm a nurse, so a handshake, regardless of how grungy, is fine with me. Yeah, you just get to a point, right? Yeah,
Come to Jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not handshaking too much here.
I know. I'm so behind on everybody. I apologize. Yeah, we'll just get caught up, and then we'll say goodnight to everybody. So Brian says, I think putting together a website is easier technically than it has come up with compelling content and media to put on it. Yeah, Brian has gotten into the Elementor WordPress game, and he learned it pretty quick. But he's right. It's always that, right? And I always tell people, if you do want to go down that path, don't burden yourself. Go with a template that speaks to you. Create a home page, and then develop out. It's no different than any of these things. Don't make yourself crazy going for the target, the home run all at one time. That's what I mean. When Jay helps you, yeah, I did help you with it. But you pick up really well. Most people pick up on these things really fast if it's explained well and kept simple. Yes. Were you rushing or were you dragging? Yeah. That's an argument I've had a lot with bass players, by the way. You get into fist fights over that, right? That's really funny. What are you going to say, John?
I was just going to say, like, it all depends how much you enjoy doing that, So, like, for most people, making this website would be a task, So, but other people, not so much.
It is. It's all of that, and some people just don't have the threshold of it. But you can't beat it. As a platform, it's still the number one platform in the world and will be that way for quite a while. But that doesn't mean it's for everyone. But as a platform being free, what is offered out there, kind of like the StreamYards deal or that OBS, it's insanity. The tools that exist to get the job done and do it right. That's for sure. I like a Jambay. I think that's a play on the word of djembe. But yeah, a Jambay is nice. Awesome. Thank you, Vinny. Appreciate that. Having raw eggs. Okay, here we go. Having raw eggs from a glass must be part of that process. That just sounds awful to me. Every time I see that scene in Rocky. God, that's terrible.
I knew he was. I did that after I was like about 6 years old, and I saw like these. I don't know where I saw it, but I thought it was like a real tough guy thing to do. So I did that. I mixed a bunch of raw eggs, and I tried to drink them.
Yeah, go get sick too.
Then I threw them out the back window.
Yeah, no go. Dogs eating and stuff like that. Yeah, Jim says, a live stream is just like a live concert. People make mistakes with notes and vocals. And there's the unpredictable nature of sound itself or lighting or maybe a stage clapping every so often and that horrible thing that happened in
That's
Houston
so true. But that's what I keep on telling people is the more and more you watch a streamer do multiple faceted things and still keep their stream together, looking good and sounding good, then they've been doing a lot of hard work to get there.
Yeah, you do start to notice it, and you start to notice the little things, and you can appreciate that over time, the nuances. And it's hard at first. It's like anything that's coming at you fast and furious. If I get into a new band, everything is so fast, I don't hear what everybody's playing. Then you've been playing with somebody for 10 years, the group, and you're hearing every single note of the guitar player that's playing that's beautiful, or the harmonies, because you're just an autopilot. And so there's such a joy in getting to that point of noticing the silence between the notes. Flow. You know what I mean? Just to be in that space. But it's really difficult to get there. Like his wife says, I'm tired after 1 hour of live stream. It's the ring light bearing down on me like the sun. Yeah. And John and I have gone a different direction with that. And it looks pretty bright, I'm noticing on here. What is your ISO set at? Is it still at 250 or did you jump it to 400? Mine's at 400.
I'm at like 200, but it is not bright in here because
it's dark in here, actually.
It is not.
So we really
mean,
decided to up our ISO. Brian kind of got me into that. On these Sonys, it really does help with the dynamic range, actually. I've noticed my background's a little more crisp, a little more colorful. But then to be able to drop my LEDs, or in my case, my softbox lights, from anywhere from like 20% down to 1%, and still get good lighting and not have my eyes get crazy.
We have the same exact lights, and I'm at 12%, so
but you're also
bright in here at all.
Yeah, but you're also what, 250? You said?
No, less.
What are you at? What'd you say? What's your ISO?
I think I'm at 200. I'm at 200.
Yeah, so I'm at 400 at least. So that is going to make a difference. You're right, 12%. That's probably where I would be too if I had my ISO down there. But I just really like it at this level. And then when you put the dark mode on and everything, your eyes, look, I don't know. It's like my ears. I went to in-ear monitors as soon as I could because I was starting to get ringing from the cymbals over the years from the monitor speaker right by my ear. And you can't take that stuff for granted. So, try to get that light down if you can. Try to make some adjustments if you can with your camera. I really believe that. Give your eyes a break a little bit if you can. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
It is true. Yeah, people get nervous going live and they get used to it, just like anything. No, some people never get it, never get comfortable with it. But I appreciate that. I appreciate chat. I think it's a good time. I didn't expect to go this long, but you guys had such great comments and questions. I don't know. I appreciate it. And if there's any, questions here before we bail out, let us know. We'll do that. Did you? I'm guessing that wasn't for me. Let me see what this is, by the way. Let me just check
Darlene,
this.
She says, get blue blockers.
You know what? I tried those. Do they work? Let's
Remember
just
those?
have the blue blockers, the ones that people would wear outside. But what about the computer glasses? Are we? Yeah, he was. I'm just going to put this up because this is funny. He was flexing a little bit on that one. He's got that. I'm going to flex soon, too, because I'm buying a new camera, and I'm going to have 3 individual HDMIs right now because I don't have the desktop that I want like John. But you know what? I'm going to flex, too, and have my little cameras back here doing their things.
That light is off, actually. My ring light is off.
It is off. That's incredible. Yeah. The difference it made. And then we were messing around last week and after the stream, and you immediately made the adjustment on the ISO, dropped the lighting, and your colors in your background popped off so well. Brian caught it early on, and then we went back and kind of made some changes. Yeah, the blue blockers for sure. But has anybody tried the computer glasses? Is that a thing? Does that really work? The ones that have the tint?
As far as I know, from what I've heard, they don't really work. But that's a controversy.
I know it is. If you bring it up to people who. So, I mean, look, I don't think it can hurt to use them. I tried to use them, and then they glare so much. So then I just kind of went, nah, forget it. I'm not.
But the new monitors have that effect usually. Like I can change that in my Windows.
Well, and go to dark mode. That's a big deal too.
That too.
And so that I have 3 monitors. I threw that on the dark mode, and my eyeballs went, thank you. It's an immediate effect. So, try that out. The link is still in. The link is in the description if anybody wants that dark mode link. Or again, if you go to Chrome extensions and type in dark reader in extensions, it'll be the first one that comes up. Just add it and play with it. It won't hurt anything. You can always get rid of it, but it's fantastic.
Darth Vader?
Darth Vader reader? You idiot. No, that's not what it is. Brian says, it's a great stream. See you guys next time. We absolutely appreciate it. Roxanne says, thank you much for yet another
Roxanne.
stream. Thank you so much. I know it's up late for you.
Brian, Darlene.
So before I go, real quick, next week on my stream Tuesday, I'm going to announce the name of the llama back here, the little llama pinata, which is our little stream buddy, kind of a mascot at this point. And there's a meaning to it. Had some fun researching that. We'll talk about that and what everybody thinks about that.
Cool.
And the meaning behind that. It was a lot of fun. And then, John, real quick, anything on Thursday that you want to drop as far as what you want to talk about so people know? Thursday, 9
I have no idea.
p.m., Coffee Talk and Tech. It's going to be potluck, so bring your own ideas.
Yeah.
for consumption.
I already have. I had some ideas, but I don't know if I'm going to change it or not. I'm going to see.
Okay, that's fine. Well, we'll see it in the thumbnail. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be there anyway. It doesn't really matter. Yes, thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. Can't thank you enough. Nav says, I made it again to the end. Yes, and I think there's a special award. John, I believe, is sending you some cryptocurrency, some Ethereum, something. I'm not exactly sure what you're sending.
Some
but,
Ethereum. Dude, it hit like...
I know.
It hit like...
Incredible.
Yeah, almost
incredible stuff.
68,000 with Bitcoin today. And Ethereum was down at the end of the day, both of them, but it was like Ethereum was around 38, 39.
And this would be the, I'm just mind blown by that, by the way. And you know what? I'm going to give a special shout out to Cashew, who works not just here, but I'd say around the whole community, doing very, very, very positive work, sometimes seemingly in the background, in the shadows. And I just want to call her out and thank her from my own space, my own heart. Absolutely. This is a joy to do with all the mods here and all the people in chat. But Cashew, you give a lot of comfort to what you're doing, and I want to just say thank you and appreciate it. We are grateful. I am extremely grateful. I know John is too. Nose Pickens, thank you for dropping that for me and reminding me how important. Appreciate that.
My mom, I want to say goodbye to, and Mommy Guide also.
Yes, I see Mommy Guide and Marlene. Want to say goodbye to that as well.
Yep.
Oh. Yep, Retro Nerd Girl. I always love this name, by the way, the Retro Nerd Girl. We're glad you caught it too. I hope there's a lot of oxygen in that spacesuit of yours and that avatar. Every time I see that, it makes me smile. I love it. It's so unique. And we appreciate you. Thank you for stopping in, and I appreciate you saying so. Steve, I just want to say,
it's been a while. Nice to see you.
Great to see you, meet you. You are appreciated. She does rock. She should be appreciated. I know she is. I know I'm not the only one. I know these channels aren't the only one. And I know the community really champions her. So I just want to leave on that note and, go from there. John, any closing thoughts before I send us out of here?
No, I'll back up everything you say. And I just feel blessed for the more and more people that we're building in the communities in different genres, which is so amazing. And then having people come back and reinforce what we're talking about and doing is even so much more amazing. And so I'm looking forward to Thursday. And I had like a topic picked for Thursday, Jeff, but I was after discussing a few things, I was almost thinking about like dropping it down to some a little bit more basics again and going over a few things. So I might do that because I feel like that gets a lot of questions over some of the basics. Like I was thinking about just going over the basics of like capture cards and stuff like that.
Oh, that'd be cool. So. Like I think there's something, and I think that it gets lost at times. Everybody loves the show, and we do love tech, but I think it's great to go back and do some very basic things that are very helpful. And as I've gone through my process of trying to do all my stuff that we talked about earlier, it has to be made simple and basic for people, not because they don't understand, but because there's a lot going on here and I don't want to talk at people. Some people know this stuff way better than me, so they can probably talk over my head. That's not the issue. I just love talking about it. And if one person picks something up and enjoys it, like John says,
I think it's just,
then it's fun and it's great and we have a good time. And
I think it's just like when we talk about streaming, we just assume that everybody knows how to do the basic simple things, and it's just not true. And
no,
so
it's not true at all.
Going over those things, since we have a lot more newer people here too, we can show them different options of how that can be achieved, because someone that I was talking to kind of brought that up to me where they didn't understand why they weren't getting the resolution they should have been getting out of a camera. Yeah. And then I asked them, well, what capture card were you using? And they were like, what's that? And so they thought that they could just plug their camera right in with a USB. And I said, that's the reason why you were getting 480p. And then they were like, oh, I didn't even know. So that's why I think sometimes we got to just reel it back in a little bit and go over some of that basic stuff and see if any questions come up. But that's all.
I think that's great. And I think it is good to step back and do some basic things. I also I'm going to call out Roxanne a little bit because she's also moderating. She's doing some work, but she's also done some other things behind the scenes. And I've had conversations, been a big part of the direction of what I'm trying to do in some ways, getting my, where I'm going, and especially with our our little llama behind us was very instrumental in that, and also helping with the name. So she might get called out a little bit more next week if she wants. Maybe I'll better ask her before I do that. I don't want to call people in there who maybe don't want to be. So we got to go. I thank you again so much for everybody, John. Thank you. Such a lot of fun. You always bring, I don't know, it's always a joy to hang with you and do this with you. And I'm grateful every time we do it. 53 is in the books. 54 is coming up on Thursday. And that'll be a joy. And I know. And I'll see everybody on Thursday. Bring the joy, bring the love, and just bring yourselves. We'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.